Hello everybody and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will and today I am back with a fantastic Philip. How's it going, Mr. Phil? Dr. Phil. Oh wait, there he is. How you doing, Phil?
I'm good. I'm chilling here.
Fantastic.
Wondering what's going on.
Fantastic. I was doing the new graphics thingy and clicking buttons and having a good time. So, we are back today. It's Sunday, and we're going to be talking a little bit about how to write some D&D adventures, especially if you are new to writing D&D adventures. And then we're also going to be doing it, writing some of our own stuff. So that'll be in the second half of the show. So, first of all, welcome to Encounter Roleplay. We're here 6 days a week. We play tabletop role-playing games. We chat about them plenty of time as well. So today, Phil, we're going to be chatting about how to write a D&D adventure. Phil, have you ever written a D&D adventure?
We've been doing it on stream ourselves for a while, and
Yeah, I've written a D&D adventure or two in my time as well. So I figured we could impart some pearls of wisdom. Disclaimer, everything Phil and I say is shit. That's the opinion of experts, so you can't trust experts for anything. So bear that in mind going through here. We don't really know anything, but these are some things that we picked up over our years of dungeon mastering. This is something I was thinking about this morning, actually. I tweeted something like, I've hit a bit of a roadblock with D&D and writing adventures, and I turned to alternative fiction like Lovecraft, and that's where my inspiration came from. So we can talk a little bit about that, rather, if you like, my friend. Welcome to Sergeant Kickass for following. So, Phil, you're writing a D&D adventure. Maybe you've never written one before. Where does one start? Where can you begin with writing?
If you have the party in mind, if you have people who know what characters they want to play, that's a really great play.
Yeah.
For example, for Wayward Tides, the Wednesday game that we've been writing, I started with the existing world of Faerun, of the Forgotten Realms, in which a lot of 5th edition takes place. And if you have an existing world, it's easy to pick characters which you like, give them new circumstances, and go from there. I read Daughter of the Drow, and halfway into Tangled Webs, those have characters in the environment in which I created my game. Yeah. So it gave information about history. That way I didn't have to make up stuff.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
And it gave dynamics between powerful NPCs.
Okay. I like that. So what I've written down there as a couple of points is write for the players and their adventurers or their player characters.
Yes.
And then use a framework for your adventure, such as e.g. the Forgotten Realms, or other established fiction or fantasy universe.
Yeah, I mean Harry Potter, for anybody's sake, that's as good a environment as anything with an established history. Sure. Or established lore is excellent.
Okay, yeah, I like that as well, because if you use a framework for your adventure, it's something that I guess we can do that. Your players will be familiar with, right? Or might be familiar with, and that really helps. Might already be familiar with the setting, and that helps because when it comes to a bunch of questions about what do I know about the world, where can I go in this world, what magic is in the world, what races live in the world, that's almost communal knowledge that everyone knows. For example, you take Harry Potter, let's say Lord of the Rings. If you're playing in a universe, a Tolkien universe, then most likely a lot of people know what the common tropes of elves, dwarves, humans, hobbits are, exactly. And then that's information that you don't have to worry about sharing, and that can be part of the problem. Is if you write a bunch of stuff for your own world, then finding a good way to convey that information to players can be very difficult. This is something that I've been not struggling with, but kind of playing with, I suppose, with my own homebrew world in Adventurers Anonymous, the podcast that we record weekly. And I figured it's a very different world. It's quite low magic, and that's something which we're not regularly with in Dungeons and Dragons a lot of the time. Certainly with the Wizard of the Coast books. And I thought, how can I convey all of this huge amount of information? Because I can't ask my players to read a fucking book on it. Even I don't read books. So I haven't written a book. So how do I convey this information? And I found the best way to convey information about worlds is to actually play through it. And when I'm thinking about, we could talk about homebrew worlds a little bit more as well, the best way to convey that information is each session I'll think about a topic that I want to cover. A game session which lasts about 4 hours, that's 4 episodes that we actually play. That sometimes I'll be like, okay, today I want to cover the topic of religion in this world. I want to cover the topic of races in this world. I want to cover the government structures in this city. And doing it kind of piecemeal can really help. Let's read some of your guys' comments. With Homebrew, I start by designing a dungeon area that the party could explore. From there, I work backwards. I like that idea as well. Conflict. Yeah, we'll talk about conflict. I think making characters first can be pretty important, because then you can write for the characters. How important do you think that is, Phil? Can I just write an adventure for any group of players and it will work out the same way as effectively as I'd hope it to?
Absolutely. I think if you create an adventure with sound plot, sound characters, that you can take it, and no matter the player characters, it will serve as a vehicle for the game. Yeah.
So similar to how the modules are done in Wizards of the Coast, they'll write
they'll
write a module which is basically for everyone, which is great. But sometimes in your own campaigns, you want to tailor it specifically to the players, to the adventurers as well.
If you're trying to do that, that's a whole nother ballpark where you want to playtest with multiple different groups before you share it and whatnot. But you're able to, when you know the background of the player characters, the adventures in your game, you can change a lot of it, a lot of the environment and the conflict to suit them, which I've noticed you in particular doing with your Monday game.
Right.
Feeding to the backstories of your characters. It's intriguing.
Yeah. So that's something I personally, as a dungeon master, love to do. And I'm going to be talking about Adventurers Anonymous as a lot, because I think this is where I do a lot of it, is where we have backstories. I make the players write a ton of backstories, and from there the plot actually develops from those backstories. We did origin episodes where we went back in the past and took a look at that. But make sure your players have detailed characters. Have characters that fit the universe, I guess. Fit the world. Oops, not further world. I don't want to further world. Fit the world you're playing in. And have a fleshed out backstory. That really helps me as a dungeon master if I know the kind of characters that I'm going to be playing with. If I know that the kind of characters that they've drawn up are slightly villainous characters, then I can write a campaign for those kind of roguelike characters, those villainous types. But if I know these guys are all playing paladins and they all despise the undead, then fantastic, now I can write an adventure similar to that. I agree, character driven stories are far more engrossing, and that's a lot of fun for me, is writing those kind of stories. Let's see. I think character focus depends on the type of game the player wants. If they want something heavily story focused, a lot of drama and deep RP, should be tailored to the characters more. Yeah, that's true. And all of this goes with the proviso of it depends on what everyone says at your session 0, which is something we talked about in the past. So let's talk about conflict, Phil. Does that mean we have to kill other players, that we have to be fighting over the pizza? In the game.
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
Right? Isn't that how we succeed in D&D?
Yes, that's how you win D&D.
No, I'm joking. Absolutely not. In fact, you should find a way to create synergy between the adventurers in your group, so that they aren't at each other's throats. They should be towards a common goal. And I mean, there will be differences of opinion in terms of how to go about that.
Sure.
But you should avoid player versus player conflict.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Player out of character conflict, of course. So what about in character conflicts? What about conflicts in terms of plot and narrative? Because when you think about most good adventures, they all revolve around some kind of conflict, something which is gone wrong, is going wrong, needs to be addressed. Something which gives the characters impetus to go on an adventure, as we're talking about here. So conflict can come in a ton of different forms, really, when you think about it in D&D adventures. You have a large scope, but there are a couple of tropes. We talked about Lord of the Rings. The conflict in that is, well, we got to get the ring to Mordor, else shit goes down. And shit will be going down whilst we're doing that as well. What's the conflict in Harry Potter? We've got to go to school. Oh no, there's bad wizards. Voldemort's trying to kill me. I've got to learn magic. I don't know. I didn't watch Harry Potter. I'm kidding. Sorry about spoilers for Harry Potter watchers out there. So Phil, what do you like to do when it comes to conflict in your adventures?
I mean, there's like the large conflict, and then there's individual conflicts for each character, like how they interact with the plot and story going on.
Okay.
I like to allow characters to think that they understand what the conflict is, and then force them to reevaluate that. For example, thinking that they know that they're fighting against the bad guys, and then giving them the dilemma of learning about the evil in the world and what its source is, and perhaps empathizing with it. Forces characters and players to look to themselves and create a compass for themselves.
So the conflict needs to be easily identified by the party. The group needs to know what the problem is, and I think quite quickly they need to understand how to solve part of that problem. They must have an idea of, okay, in Lord of the Rings, well, how do we solve the problem of Sauron? We've got to take the ring to Mordor, and that is now our quest.
Right, it should be clear what their objective is each session. Yes, absolutely.
The objective to solve the conflict needs to be easily identifiable as well. Identifiable by the party. Because if they don't know what they're doing, then you're stuck, right? And if they don't know what the problem is, then you don't have anything for them to do. And then if they know what the problem is, but I don't know any idea how to solve that problem, well, that's often where a good a quest giver will come in. You know, Elrond in Lord of the Rings. Well, you must go to the files of Mordor. You know, that kind of thing. We talked about session zeros. We won't talk about that today because I feel like we've beaten that horse and it's definitely dead now. But the objective sort of conflict needs to be identified by the party, and then objectives each session need to be clear as well.
Yes.
Because if go ahead.
I think that's more critical so that they know what they're doing in the immediate sense.
Yes. I agree. And I think as well, the reason for them solving the conflict needs to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Not valid, but something which will make them do it. Pressing. Reasons for solving the conflict needs to be pressing, or give them something back, rewardable. I'm not sure the exact word I'm looking for there, but basically you've got a problem. They know how to solve the problem, but why do they solve the problem? What's the point of them solving this problem? Well, that's often where I see a lot of dungeon masters come in with the kind of statements or questions like, how do I get my players to do the quest that I want them to do? I've written all of this stuff, but they don't seem interested in doing it. It has to be interesting for not only the players, but the characters as well. There needs to be motivations for those characters to solve this conflict. Otherwise, why would they do it? If I am a character who, I don't know, I see the conflict is the town yonder of elves is about to be attacked by orcs. Okay, super obvious one. We've got to solve that conflict. Well, they're not paying me anything for this. My character doesn't particularly like elves, so what's the point of that character doing it? So you need to think when you're writing these conflicts, motivations of the party need to be kept in the forefront of your mind. So party and character motivations must be thought of when deciding on the type of conflict. Yeah, character hook. If there's nothing to hook a character in, then why would they bother doing it, you know? So that's super important, I think, just to think, why would my characters do this? For instance, when I'm writing an adventure, I read there's Captain Hook. When I'm writing an adventure, I'm always keeping in mind, well, my party, there's no reason for them to do this. Why would they do this? And then I've got to rewrite, I've got to rethink. Phil, how do you think about how to write that or make that hook, you know, appealing? How do you give them that? It's almost like a carrot and a stick, right? You show them the carrot, like here's maybe the physical reward or something to do with their character's backstory. What do you find works best?
I think really, when you're first beginning an adventure, most likely to be a physical reward. Right. That doesn't apply to some characters like clerics who are very devoted and not interested in material means, but that's neither here nor there. For most parties, like incentive in terms of gold or magic will be the initial impetus to bring them to the adventure, and then they will learn about how this matters to them as the adventure goes on.
Absolutely, yeah, I couldn't agree more. So what I've put here, back on our first bullet point, is ask them to write down 3 character motivations. And that's something I'll ask players to do in my games, is ask them. So tell me 3 things that drive your character forwards. It might be gold, it might be the love of my daughter, and I've got to save her. It could be like a position. I want to be the captain of the guard, something like that. 3 things that drive people forwards. Not only does that help the players get into the mindset of their character and thinking, okay, well, he's driven by gold and wanderlust, and so that's the kind of character I'm going to play. But it really helps you in thinking, okay, well, I've got these characters here, and they've got one thing in common. They all love gold. Well, how can I get them involved in my quest? I know what, I'll give them some gold as an incentive. Or they all have unresolved family conflicts. For instance, Adventurers Anonymous. I know what I'll do. I'll make the plot all about resolving their family conflicts and their daddy issues, basically. So that's been a really useful tool for me to think about how to write the quest that I'm doing, or the main conflict of the story. Okay, so we've got thinking about the character motivations when deciding on the type of conflict. I think that's pretty important. Now, in terms of, let's talk about world building a bit. Let's talk about doing a homebrew game, because this is essentially what we're talking about. Because if you're playing a module, you've got most of this already done for you. So let's talk a little bit about creating the world of the campaign. So, how important, well, how much detail, I suppose, Phil, does one need to go into when creating the world that their campaign is being set in? For instance, if they aren't taking the realms or Eberron or any other setting that they're familiar with.
I mean, you need to know some key elements about how characters interact with the world. Okay. And then you need to know, have decided and written down the paths which your characters can take, and history and lore, and giving the characters options in terms of their backstory is important. But I think a lot of that can be done in conjunction with the players. So essentially, it's like, how does magic interact with the world? How do deities interact with the world? What is the government system like? What is trade like? And interaction between races, etc.
Yeah. So I find when I'm writing a homebrew for campaign is I just think of the very basics, the type of world that I like to be, or I want to write. For instance, I want to write a low magic world. I want to write a high fantasy world with all sorts of crazy devices, almost like a Numenera world. That's where I start. I write a couple of, overall overarching points that I'll need for the theme of the campaign, and I will let players fill in a couple of blanks as well when it comes to their backstory. So yeah, a couple of things that I always check off just on my list. I want to know what the role of magic is in the world. I want to know the role of the races in the world. I want to know how government structures work and how religion works. And that's pretty much my 4 that I try and think of in the game. Of course, they encompass quite a lot. Magic can mean a lot of things. That could mean how the different planes work. Religion can mean how the gods work. So I try and think of those 4 different as just a baseline, basically, to start work from. Something that I see a lot of people do is they'll obsess over the homebrew world and every single detail of it. Every single town, every single city, and 20 million different NPCs that live within each of the cities, and where they live, and the shops that they run, and their wives. That is too much detail for me, usually. So when I was reading Simbaround, and I wrote an article about it this last night. It's on the website now, and it's essentially interesting how they write the world of Simbaround. It feels really alive, and it feels very filled out. However, sure thing, I will. However, they don't actually go into excruciating detail about every NPC and every town. They've got a chapter, maybe 3 to 4 pages on that, and this is a published book that is, selling quite well. They look at the large scale. They don't look at the micro, and that kind of mystery about it means that you can kind of fill in the blanks yourself as you're going.
Yeah, it's flexibility. It's
really flexible.
Your characters are allowed to project onto the world, and you're allowed to improvise in terms of plot and story.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I think I'll be doing more and more when I write my homebrew games as well, is not considering too much detail. Think of the large scale. Look out, zoom out on the map and see, okay, what do the continents look like? What does religion look like I said? What does the governments look like? Well, that's not how you spell governments. Governments, yay. And stuff like that. And that has kind of opened my eyes a bit in terms of how Simbaround does that, because with the Forgotten Realms, they've almost been hashed out to death. There's excruciating detail on almost everything, all of the history of it. But Simbaround's kind of a world for the players to explore and the adventurers to explore, and that's something that I really like.
Yeah, that's one thing that I found is that if you do choose something that has been done quite so much, it's easy to fall into a plot-driven adventure, which isn't a bad thing by any means, but it's definitely not as conducive to engaging your characters.
Yeah. And I mean, all of this, again, depends on the type of game that you're running. That's the proviso of all of this. So not all of these points might necessarily be applicable to your games, but hopefully it should give you a kind of basic understanding of the kind of things that go into Phil's and my own writing. So yeah, that's mostly what it comes down to when creating the world of the campaign. There is a couple of other things that I think of when doing that, though. Is the first session, I'll tend to write a lot more about the place that they're going to be in to start off with, to give them quite a vivid and rich understanding of that location. And then from there, I mean, there's almost not too much need to write loads of stuff for the external cities that are around the rest of the the world, because they're not going to be there. So I think one point that would be good here is write what you need and then stop. And this is something that I saw Sly Flourish talking about on Twitter the other day, Mike, when he came on the show last Sunday actually, and he was saying on Twitter, write what you need and then stop fucking writing. And that made a lot of sense to me. That was like, oh yeah, I should do that. Because, often I'll find myself writing a ton of stuff and it never comes to it. And I'm sure plenty of Dungeon Masters will have found this. But if you're a newer Dungeon Master, you might not have encountered this problem where you write this intricate story, you write this fantastic world, and then they see 5% of it, and then they don't go in the directions that you want them to. So it's quite important to write within your means, I guess, especially for like the first session or so. You're playing for 4 or 5 hours, I don't know, 3 hours maybe. You don't need to necessarily write the entire plot. Something, a tool that I use is I'll write the beginning, I'll write the end, and I won't write the middle. And when I'm first thinking of that story, and sometimes it starts with, I write the end. I know how the campaign wants to end, and then you work backwards, like Salami was saying. Other times, I know very clearly where I want to begin, and then I figure out where that thing will end. But writing the middle of the adventure, it can be quite a grey space. Have you had any experience of that, Phil?
Well, I'm just thinking that's exactly how this one has been playing out. I know where you guys are going to end up, and I know how you began. And it's been quite the adventure to plot out the middle points as we go. And I think it's wise to leave them because how your characters choose to interact with the world is going to be very unique to them and the party. And I think that goes for sessions as well, understanding, the objective of the session and how the characters begin it with what resources, etc. And then if you have a familiarity with like the possibilities in the world, you don't need to spell out everything for the middle.
Right, yeah. And so what this allows for, as I'm writing down here, is flexibility within the campaign. If you've written out plot point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 10, which you're ending. Think about it like that. If point 1 is the beginning and point 10 is the end, then you've got, these other 8 points in the middle, like you don't necessarily need to know everything about. You can write after each session, and that's something that's really important when no worries, bud chap. When I'm writing campaigns, I won't write the whole campaign out, I won't write the middle, but after the third session, after point 3, I'll write point 4, maybe point 5, and then you can edit that on the go. Everything goes up to YouTube, man. When players go, and I'm going to say off track, it won't throw you so much. And if you're a beginner dungeon master, or a newer dungeon master, I see a lot of times the comments are, how do I improvise? What do I do when they go off track? Everything's gone wrong. Well, if they haven't gone off track, if they can't go off track. If you have a kind of loose idea of where the campaign is going, you can kind of fill in the blanks as you go, and then it becomes quite natural. And I think that's a great habit to get yourself in as a dungeon master. Because that's where I see a lot of the more experienced dungeon masters are at currently. Obviously, it changes from person to person, but I do speak with a lot of dungeon masters, and that seems to be quite a common theme. I'm like, Sly Flourish, what's going to happen in the middle of this campaign? So I have no fucking clue, man. You tell me. If I ask, someone like Josh, where's the campaign going to end? Then he'll know where that's going to end. He'll know where it's going to begin. But the middle part it's up to the players. It's and there's a fantastic article on Encounter Roleplay, not written by myself, written by a friend of ours, Mitch, who ran a Numenera game, and it's a quote that I like to talk about quite regularly, and he says something along the lines of, nobody wants to read your shitty, unfinished fantasy novel, and no one wants to play in it either. And it's true, people don't want to read shitty finished fantasy novels either. And so when you're on those kind of rails of having written a whole campaign out from start to finish, then it's very rigid for your players. And when there's not that rigidity there, this gives the players free reign. Players flexibility too. Free reign to explore and to determine the outcome of the adventure, and most importantly, how they get there. How they get to the end is perhaps more important than how the adventure actually ends, because the ending is point 10. The middle part, or how they get there, is points 2 to 9, right? So there's a ton more content there on actually how they get to the end and necessarily how it actually ends. I'm going to do it for my campaign. Yeah, feel free to ask questions in chat, my friends. I'll happily try and get to them here with Phil. I think that's super important. Just think about how flexible is your campaign, and take a look at it. How rigid is your campaign? Is it actually written out from points 1 to 10? If so, delete a couple of points. Or another thing that you can do as well is if not writing the middle of the campaign feels too, I don't know what's the term, feel like loose, feels uncomfortable because you're not confident in your ability to do that, then you can write some options, and that's something that we do as well.
Very much so.
Yeah.
If you're finding that your players aren't asking a lot of questions, then writing more is important, because you want to avoid the rigidity that we've been talking about, but that requires like forks in the plot, forks in the playing through of an adventure, where they can choose different routes. And writing more will be conducive to that because they will see more, they will hear more, and they will understand that there are various paths that they can take. And when I say write more, I don't necessarily mean write paragraphs about the decorations on the wall. I mean, what he's typing right now is write alternative padding for them.
Right, that's it. Okay, we'll get to that after this point, Richard. So yeah, what I'm writing here is think of plot points like a flowchart with multiple branches and options for players. So when they come to plot point 3, then there are 2 to 3 different ways of going, of branching out and taking those options. Also, each plot point doesn't have to be rigid. Each plot point can have a decision within it, and you don't have to do branches for every single decision. You don't have to plan out everything. But if you do a couple, it can definitely help you to start thinking about that. So yeah, let's see. I will send the document to you guys, and you can view it as I'm writing it. There we go. And I'll send it up on the website for download after this as well. So Richard asked, I have a struggle of how to structure improv discourse between NPCs and the PCs. Have any tips about it? So let's talk about NPCs and the cast of your adventure. So, Phil, when you're writing an NPC, what goes into writing NPCs for you?
I think that's a really good question, Richard. By the way, it's crucial to know like what they know, because what the adventurers will be looking for first and foremost is information towards their objective and where they're headed. Secondly, how they interact and how they respond to that sort of questioning. So like, are they willingly, forthcoming with information about the world they live in, or are they, adverse to strangers coming up and talking to them? And when it's impromptu, it can be more difficult, but giving them 1 or 2 character traits, like when chat gave me the sort of laid back, chill character for the dragon turtle on Wednesday game, it makes it so much easier. And so you can assign those yourselves to each NPC, and it'll make improvising dialogue much easier. In terms of structure, you want introduction, and you want a relationship building between them and the player characters. And how deep that goes is totally dependent, circumstantial. But even just common ground, if they're going to be allies, is important.
I was thinking about that the other day, actually. So what's the purpose of the NPC? What's the motivation of the NPC? Like we asked the players do, you can write 3 options for the motivations of the NPC as well, and then you can think about why they do these things, who they are. That can help you flesh out who the NPC is as a person. From that, immediate conversation is a difficult one to necessarily nail down in a nugget of advice. But you can always think about the kind of questions that the players might ask. That's something that I'll do, is when asked this, for particularly important scenes, this is a type of response that they might give. When asked this is the kind of thing. So it's almost not improvising in a way, it's kind of preparing to improvise. And then you can go on from there. Even if it's just one word, I'll write down something like stubborn, not forthcoming, or open, when asked about this question. So that could help you. Yeah, understanding the motivations of the NPCs can definitely help you get into the mindset of the character, I think.
I think that sort of if-then is more important than, like, knowing everything about a backstory.
Right, yeah.
Because as I learned last week, if your characters don't interact with a character or an NPC, then
kill them off.
Work for nothing.
Yeah. Kill them off and make another, yeah.
If there's an if-then, that information and that sequence can be simply applied to another NPC.
Yeah, I like that. So to say, right, if-then sentences for potential questions the PCs might ask, and that can help you. And I do that in the Wizards modules. They've got NPCs, when asked about this, there's this response. I see that in plenty of different modules. We don't DM as a pair. No, perhaps we should sometime, Phil.
Oh, God. I've only heard bad things about that.
This is an interesting idea of like round robin DMing for groups that need it, but I don't think we need to.
That's different. Yeah.
Okay, so if-then sentences, potential questions the PCs might ask. Now, this is an interesting thing as well. For quest givers, slash NPCs, they are quote-unquote meant to like, right? So important NPCs, the Elrons of the game, the Gandalfs of the game, who give quests to the players, basically. You touched on it just a second ago here, Phil, in writing the NPCs based on the characters. So you mentioned if they're meant to be a quest giver, to give them some common ground, something that they can relate to, something that they can bounce off of. Because I hear a lot of the time, I wrote this NPC, but how do I make them not hate them?
It's so easy to fail. I totally failed on that on my Wednesday game. My quest giver literally was
I failed all the time
by my players multiple times. They just no common ground except for the gold that was changing hands.
Sure.
This is what's easy to do is easy not to do, and so if you forego any of this, it's not the end of the world for your campaign. It's just this is good to do. And so, yes, common ground, some sort of reason that these are the adventures that have been chosen.
Good reason for needing help. I like that. Common ground or backstory connection. A backstory connection can really help. If you have them, I believe they call them foils in the latest Unearthed Arcana. But similarly, you can have, friends as well. So something that I ask my characters to write down, going back up to the top, is ask them to write an NPC or two that they have a connection with. This is something that a lot of games like Numenera will actually place into the character creation. It's actually mandatory in some games like that I've played, that you have to have backstory connections, either with the other player characters, which I do in D&D anyway, but also with an NPC. And that is really, really interesting, because if you've got an NPC that they're familiar with, an old friend, then you can immediately bring them in as the quest giver. That character already trusts them because, hey, they wrote them and they're like, this is cool, something that I wrote is in the game. Also, they've got an immediate backstory connection to them, so, they have reason to trust them, and they might have an extra reason to help them as well. And I think that can definitely help. Writing quest-giving NPCs is very similar to writing the conflict of your game. They need to have the same reasons and think of the character and party motivations. So keep the character motivations in mind when writing them. Yeah, so if they're a bunch of scallywags, then an altruistic character who can't give them any gold but just wants their help is going to be tough. Might not go down so well. If they're a party that all hate orcs really bad, then a half-orc character isn't necessarily going to go down so well. So think about the party biases and the dynamics going on in the group. Something, if you're having trouble with it, play with age. If they tend towards like a younger character, then like, children can be very, children across the board are very kind of compelling for characters and for people in real life. You know, people are going to help out kids. That's something that we're kind of programmed to do. So I found if I'm having a real trouble with a party who just end up killing every single NPC, then give them kids, someone defenseless, you know. Do they react well to children? You know, do they react well to older people? Do they react well to think of, you know, race, even gender? You know, do they react well to girls? Do they react well to guys? So all of these things can be played with. And hey, you're writing a story, so it doesn't really matter. You know exactly why. you just know that they need to. So if it's a case that they only trust, you know, Polish old ladies, then sure, hit that key demographic. You know, I don't know why. Can feel as forced emotional and smart players. Yeah, but we're going with the party that is definitely not a smart player here. They're killing every NPC we're coming across, man. So yeah, it's not going to be our quest-giving NPCs that they are meant to like. Let's talk about villains as well. Every good story needs a good villain for a campaign. So this is similar to the quest givers that we were just talking about here, Phil. How do you write good villains for your campaigns? What makes a good villain for you?
I think they are very embedded in the environment of the story you're telling. So like they have strong ties to the existing world. And then I think they need to, at least at the beginning, seem much stronger than your characters, and outpace them in a way. Although that changes, the tides need to turn at some point during your adventure.
Of course, yeah. We were toads.
Ooh. Yeah. And then what else about villains? I think it's important that villains, like, you can understand where they come from, whether it's a loyalty to something or devotion to a cause, even a poorly chosen one.
Okay, yeah. So like compelling motivations.
Yes, that's crucial.
Yeah, compelling motivations to do what they are doing. And someone mentioned this in chat. Remember, bad guys don't see themselves as bad guys. Lots of villains don't see themselves as evil. At the very least, they feel justified in what they're doing. Perhaps they have an allegiance to a cause, or to a cause. Something along those lines. You know, if you look at villains in real life who are generally accepted villains, most people who, you know, would be considered bad don't necessarily consider themselves bad. Or at the very least, they think that what they're doing is justified to you know, the ends justify the means.
Yeah, if you have a villain who is evil and knows they're evil, that's not a bad thing.
Oh, no.
So long as the people who follow the villain don't see themselves as bad.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If there's an evil dictator and they might know that they're evil and just feel superior.
Because it's D&D, we got devils and demons, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But people who have pledged allegiance to them and whatnot, they're self-serving motivations or misguided allegiance.
Yeah, but those who follow the villain, are likely misguided, maybe even in fear of their lives, afraid. All of these. If you looking historically, dictators. People who follow dictators, are they necessarily evil? Who knows? But a lot of the times they're terrified of the consequences of stepping out of line from this, like you say, evil dictator. Their misguided beliefs in a cause.
Any good paladin would tell you what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily make them evil.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
What?
Yes.
Alignment?
God damn it, Phil. Yeah. I tripped a never be evil for evil's sake. Yes, I think the most compelling villains for me personally are people who are, have some sense of humanity, have some sense of what is right and wrong, but at the same time choose to do the wrong thing because they feel like they're justified in whatever they're doing.
And what's always fun is also people who are seriously misguided, like who have or who intentionally excuse me for stuttering, initially intended very good things from their actions, but because of circumstance or because of manipulation, ended up doing very bad things.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Afraid to believe in the cause. The ends justify the means for them. You have a whole subset of villains. It doesn't have to be just one guy. Yeah, absolutely. I like it. Let's take like Magneto. I always found Magneto to be quite an interesting villain for like the X-Men series, despite the X-Men series. And he's had a lot of terrible things gone wrong to him, but he sees the bad things that he's doing, killing people and whatnot, justify the emancipation of mutants as a whole, or whatever it is that he sees. So he's got an ideology that he follows, and because that terrible things have happened to him, he's going to do bad things to other people because that's what he thinks is acceptable within the world. It's interesting to see the villain sees the same problem as the players do, but takes way more extreme measures than the players would. Yeah, that's interesting. I like the first movie. I definitely like the first X-Men movie. The second one, it was alright. The second one was alright. I'll give it that. It was okay. Do the ends justify the means for them? I like that idea of, at the beginning of the campaign, for them to feel strong. How important is it for the party to be able to easily identify who the villain is?
I think that varies. In the campaign that I'm writing now, there were allusions to who the bad guy was. But what's more important is having an immediate objective. I don't know if that makes sense.
So title 10 towards the end.
Knowing that there is evil is more important than knowing who the evil is when you begin.
Sure.
It should be revealed, who the enemy is. But if you don't know initially, that's not a terrible thing.
Yeah, I think the only time where it feels a little weird is where the true villain is revealed at the very end and there's been no lead up to that. Make sure at some point during the campaign the party can identify the villain. Oops. Yeah. Because all along it was me, ha ha ha, can definitely seem a little cheap sometimes, I think. So being able to identify villains I've seen a couple of at the end reveals, but honestly they've all felt very cheap to me. Where it's like, actually it was this, lich all along. Okay. Much more compelling is knowing who the villain is and having a reason to want to destroy them. And I think that's quite interesting. Because if, it's a bad guy, it's a lich, well, yeah, it's evil, so I guess we kill it. But more interesting is having seen the works of the lich throughout the campaign. It destroyed this village of people. Its minions, blew up this artifact of ancient power. All the terrible things that this character has done. It makes them far more compelling. When the characters really want to kill that person, that's when you're like, hell yeah, this is a good villain. And when they finally get that satisfaction of having destroyed that villain, it's a great feeling. I don't know if I can talk about it. No, I can't. But there's a in Adventurers Anonymous, there is a moment coming up where they are coming, where they're coming to a head with a long-time villain, and they're just like biting at the bit to get this person because they've been trying to for a long time. And that was when I was like, okay, this villain has been a success because they care. If they don't give a shit, then well, there you go. That's not particularly compelling for the players. So there you go. There you go. I've never considered Magneto a villain, to be honest. Exactly, he's a good guy. Anyway, what else do we need in our campaign? We've got villains, we've got quest givers and NPCs. We've talked about writing what we need. We've talked about conflicts, creating a world of the campaign, writing for the players and their archetypes. What else do we... spoilers. What else do we need to mention here? What else do you think about when writing a campaign, Phil? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It denied me access to the Word document for a second. But I'm back.
Oh, okay, good.
That's an excellent question. Let me scroll real fast. I don't know. I think we can talk about more of the micro sense, like an individual session, if you want, or
maybe we could talk about the first session.
Yeah.
How important that is. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Because you want it to be engaging, but there also needs to be exposition, and
yeah, okay.
You're going to be meeting new people, and how do your player characters and NPCs deal with that?
Okay, so let's talk about the first session of the campaign. So you go into your game, you've written all this stuff, you're pretty sure you've got some, some interesting ideas going on with your campaign, you're pretty sure you've got, some good NPCs written out, and let's talk about this from just like a slightly more like human's perspective rather than just this is writing, this is math, this is the formula. A lot of people, hey, thanks to Kalashnikov for the resub, a gentleman and a scholar, I salute you, sir. Let's raise some drinks in chat for Kalash. There we go, buddy. But let's talk about nerves for a moment here. Now, one of the most common questions is... how do I get over nerves? So I'm going to write down here, you're going to be nervous. There we go, autocorrected it for me. You're going to be nervous. How does one get over that first hurdle? Because I found, personally, after I've done the first session, I feel a lot more comfortable with where I am. But going to the first session and sitting down and being like, okay, here's all this work I've done, now I'm going to share it with other people can be very scary, and sharing creative projects in general can be quite scary. So, any tips for that, Phil?
Just grin and bear it. Gosh, I wish I had something. But it's, hopefully you're playing, if this is your first time, hopefully you're playing with people you know, at least in some regard. And playing with good people is important.
Yeah. That's a big part of feeling confidence, is getting confidence from players. And
for the first session, you can have everything spelled out because there's only so many, there's a limited number of directions where the player will take it for the first session.
Yeah, okay, so you can write lots.
You can embrace it. I don't know.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's pretty much any creative thing that you personally have worked on, and then you have to share it with the world, whether that's sharing that on SoundCloud, here's my song, or sharing a piece of artwork on Twitter, or sharing your game with players. Sharing creative content is always really scary, and I think the first thing to accept is it's okay to be scared. It's normal to be nervous with these sort of things, and that is completely fine, in my opinion, to be scared. You can write lots for the first session to make yourself feel better about it. I think another thing that I'd encourage people to do is just let the other players know how you're feeling, which sounds kind of like, talk about your feelings. How how you're feeling, if you are nervous, and if that is what you're feeling, then it's important that the other people know. Because if they're like, this guy's got it in the bag, he's so confident, and then you actually turn out to be nervous, so, you know, just setting those expectations. Hey guys, this is my first session, I'm kind of nervous, you know, go easy on me. And the rest of the players will be like, sure. Or if they're dickheads, then you don't play with them anymore. But that's, you know, 99% of the time is like, oh, no worries, man. You know, I started my first session, I was super nervous too. You know, those are the kind of stories that I hear all the time from other gaming groups and other folks. So the other players know how you're feeling. Embrace it. Yeah, I like that. Embrace it. Eventually, so here's the thing. Eventually, you're either going to have to stop writing. So eventually you come to a choice. You're either going to have to continue writing forever and never play D&D, or you're going to have to play D&D and have a good time. That's basically where the choice comes down to. Are you never going to play D&D and just keep putting it off and just keep writing and writing and writing? No, of course you're not. That's no fun. Eventually, you've got to go to a session and play a game. And, you know, as hard as that is, as difficult as it is, you basically just have to embrace it and be like, this is part of the experience. Throwing yourself into uncomfortable decisions is the only way for those uncomfortable decisions to become comfortable. And that's similar, you know, if you ever went, I don't know, on a bicycle for the first time. The first time you went on a bicycle, it was scary, but exciting. The next time you were better at it, the next time you were better at it. Nowadays, you're excellent at that bike, and you'd never not get on your bike. I don't know. It's a pretty bad analogy, but you get what I'm saying here. D&D is bikes, basically, is what I'm saying. And now a brief message from our sponsors. The new bicycle. Yeah, eventually you're going to have to play and make mistakes as you go. Everyone has been there, and it's perfectly natural. There you go. Nailed it. So yeah, I think that's it, really. You've just got to either play or be like, actually, I don't want to play. And then you won't do it. So yeah. Podchap asks, I made a character and made him his own weapon and everything. Half Great Axe, half Maul. How would you work that? Like, Maul and Great Axe are pretty different roles and damage types. Ask your dungeon master what they think would be my call on that one. What's up, Plunder Loot? Ever hear of Le Dwarven Urgosh? Can't say I have. Sounds like a great guy. So that's the first session in terms of like confidence. That could be confidence there. What about the first session and actually running the game? What tools can I have in my arsenal ready to go? I'm a new dungeon master. I haven't played before. What tools can I have in my arsenal to run this game smoothly? Is there any kind of do's and don'ts for the first time for you, Phil? How was your first time? Let me tell.
Oh man. The first session is it's important, I suppose, to allow your characters more time to ask questions in conversation. Because they'll be learning a lot about the world for the first time, especially if it's homebrew. And so they'll be asking very basic questions at first before they even get into what the intended objective is for that session and for the game in general. Aside from that, I think it's important for in your first session to have conflict and encounters which speak to the longer plot and your larger enemies, because you won't. I mean, mechanically, you simply won't be facing like the vampire or the big bad at the end of the adventure in your first session. That'd be, you know, quick finish and kind of boring. And B, your characters just won't be strong enough for that. So if you have story-driven encounters in your first session, especially, it will be very rewarding for your characters, and it'll feel like the plot has progressed.
I like it. It's I often think, in terms of like first sessions, first encounters, it really sets the tone for your campaign. So whilst it can be nerve-wracking, it is quite important to get some bits right with it. So yeah, story-driven encounters can set the tone of the campaign, and also what's the thing I'm trying to say? And also start the players on the quest or adventure of the campaign. And often I think of like video games. A lot of the time video games' first opening scenes and action scenes will dive you into the plot and quite quickly try and hook you in. The ones that are generally a bit more boring are the ones that give you 4 hours of exposition where you're not really doing much, and then you get to do the exciting stuff. It should be exciting from the get-go. So I think to have some action, to have some stuff going on in the first session, oops, I'm hitting things, is quite important. And you want to hook the players into the campaign. You want them to come back next session for more, and I think that's an important thing to think about. Is this first session exciting? Is it going to be interesting? Does it hook the characters and the players into the campaign that I'm running to write? Does it introduce some of the most important NPCs of the world, or of the campaign? Does it introduce what the setting is like? Ask yourselves these sort of questions. A little checklist. Does it do this? Does it do this? If not, then figure out a little way to bring in part of that. And I think that can be quite key in running your first session and to make it interesting. It's a tough one because you're going to be nervous and a little bit worried about doing a first session, but at the same time, you also want to be engaging and make sure that the players are having a good time and the characters. And that's kind of the golden rule: is make sure everyone has fun. That's the most important thing about playing games. Yeah, everyone's there to have a good time. So keep in mind that around the table, you want to make sure everyone's having a good time, and I think that can be
that should be rule number 1.
That should be rule number 1. Yeah, we'll put that back up here. That is a golden rule. There we go, nailed it. Fantastic. If your fun is wrong. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It was just a 2-page old document here on a couple of tips and tricks. Anything else we've forgotten, Phil? Anything we need to touch on? Or to touch? Was it good?
Neither. No. Awesome.
You sure? All right then. Cool. So we've talked about the theory. Shall we do some practical and actually write our adventure? So let's write a D&D adventure. For beginners is what we're going to be doing here. So let's go to this document here, our beginner's adventure that I run tomorrow, so Mondays at 1 PM EDT, so an hour ago tomorrow, if that makes sense. And the baseline of the story is trying to uncover a snake cult within the heart of Waterdeep. Now, I set it in the Forgotten Realms so that the players would have a good understanding of what the world would be like and the kind of structures in place. I've had a bunch of different combats. They've just broken out a guy from prison. And let's go down here. We've currently written 20 pages of notes. Holy mackerel. And they found some information on how to uncover the villain behind a piece. They have an idea of the villains behind a piece. But they aren't quite yet sure exactly who they are. But they've got a lead. So this is going to be episode 4, and they are after this man called Lucian Werrance. Now, I'll start on a new page for you guys. There we go.
How did that viewer decision work out? Where with the magical construct or whatever? Did you use that?
A ward that moves any magic using a construct for long as inside and people are able to sign language unless granted permission by official guards. We had hellhounds. We had hellhounds and wards and barriers that went up into place. And if they'd have stayed there any longer, there were golems coming to eat them as well.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, prison hype. So,
briefly, what happened last time?
So, briefly, what happened last time, they broke a man named Duncan Hallwinter out of prison. They managed to escape with their lives and with his. They came back to the head of the Assassin's Guild, who's one of their main quest givers, who's called Six Fingers. And they went to a warehouse. And they met with Graham, who's one of their contacts from the character's backstory, who I knew would be a good quest giver because they had a connection with the backstory going on there. And yeah, they got to the warehouse and they found a list of people, some of which had been killed, which had been signed with the name Lucien Werrance. Now, Lucien Werrance is a potion seller. He's Lucien owns many of the potion shops in the city, and he is the brother-in-law to our main villain, Oscar Yinf. Okay, so they have a lead on who he is, and they have an idea of ways to find him. And that is the clear objective of today's session, is find Lucien Werrance, ask him about this list that we have, and figure out exactly what's going on here, because they are beginning to suspect that there might actually be mutant people in town and snake people in town as well. So they definitely need to find this guy. So I suggest that we start off writing the location of where Lucien lives, where he works, where the party might find him of an evening. And of course he's got to have a cool alchemy lab. And of course there's got to be all sorts of experiments and mutants around. Also, if you guys are interested in finding the Word document, I will post it on the website tonight for you guys. And if you're enjoying the show, hit that follow button and join us. Capitalist takeover. Yeah, he is. He owns many of the potion shops. He's a potion seller. You can't handle his strongest potions. So he's got an alchemy lab. He's going to have all sorts of experiments and mutants lying around the place. Perhaps in the lower areas of his estate. He's a very rich guy, so he's bound to have, an estate where they could find him at the Werrance
So does he have like an alchemy lab in the underground of his mansion or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Underground in his mansion lab lies. This is... Oh, okay, so this is where he produces the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no, he doesn't produce. I guess refines the drugs.
Or experiments to create new ones.
Oh, yeah. I like it. Sludge Spark. And experiments with its effects on hapless citizens. He abducts. Kayleen subscribed the second month in a row at Twitch Prime. Thank you, Kayleen. A gentle lady and a scholar. Let's get some ERP drinks here in chat. Fantastic. There we go. All right. And experiments with its effects on hapless citizens he abducts. Fantastic. So we've got to have some gribbly creatures down here. They've seen a couple of weird mutant people, but I haven't yet actually had to fight any. So so getting into his estate, I guess, wouldn't be the easiest thing to do. He's bound to have guards. But one of the PCs is actually a noble. She's a noble, and she has a relationship with the Yinf family, so she might be able to kind of get them in through the front door. But Lucien would meet with them if Georgie, who is Lauren's PC, requested an audience. Okay. No worries, Potty Chap. Enjoy, my friend. So, it's likely that they might meet Lucian in person in kind of like civil company. But I think he's probably going to have some guards around the place in case anything gets started that he's not too happy with. And then he would escape down into the lab if he is uncovered.
Are they going... Well, actually, I'm sure you don't know, but if they intend to confront him, how will he respond?
Yeah, I think if confronted, he would attempt to, subvert their evidence. He's got no, I've got absolutely no understanding of this. I've got absolutely no involvement with simple mistake. Ha ha ha. He's going to be a bit of a creep though. He's going to be the Uncle Fester of the Yint family. So so Lucian, if called out, I guess, will refute knowledge of ever signing that document. It could be a forgery. And he has no connections to the Gray family, who own the warehouse from which it was discovered from. It was discovered. He, I guess, entreats the party to take this to the authorities, who, of course, are under his pay, who are under Oscar Yim's pay, his brother-in-law. To the authorities if they wish to press charges. If this is the case, he will definitely sour to the party. And ask them to leave. Now, there's got to be some clues lying around it. He's got some kind of lab, right? He's got to have, if they do call him out on this and, reprimand him, then there's nothing that they can do to prove that he was actually there, and there's nothing to prove that he did sign that, right, other than his own signature. So they would have to take that to the authorities, but they already know that the guard force are corrupt, and they know that the general of the force is most definitely corrupt, and they've also been doing experiments on mutants in the prison as well, so they can't really go to them. So there needs to be a clue lying around, clue as to the drugs and mutations somewhere in his office where they meet him. Now, I doubt he's got a trapdoor leading down to his evil basement in his front room, but maybe there's something that they can spot. What do you guys in chat think? What's a good clue that he could have lying around, which would lead to thinking he's got, some kind of a recipe. He's got a recipe on a desk. Oh, let me put that away. He's got
or a book with titled 101 mutagens or a history of mutagens.
Okay, yeah, I like that idea. A book, another ledger with payments. Ooh, yeah, I like that idea. He's got a ledger which could. The thing is, what they're looking for isn't necessarily like evidence to take to the police because they can't go to the police force, basically. So that would be useful. They definitely know it was him, but they already definitely suspect that he's involved with it. So I think what they need to know, I guess the purpose of this is to show them what is actually going on and who is involved. That's what makes it such a good clue. I don't know about that. Something dirty with what the recipe is used for. Maybe his clothes. Ooh. Maybe his clothing is up on a hook, and there's like telltale signs of like a white dust on it, which is what the sludge spark basically is. So it could be a perception check, something like that. Reveals jars of snakes. Oh yeah, I like that. Check reveals a lab coat, I guess, which is badly stained and looks to have the marks of sludge spark on it. If they, I guess, continue to confront him with this evidence, he will ask the guards to remove them. And if it turns to violence, he's a spellcaster.
Yeah.
Sorry, you know, he's a spellcaster. Perhaps he disappears down into the lab, and that's where they can follow him.
Yeah, I feel like he's stronger in his lair.
Yeah, he will... Oh, we could have lair actions as well. He will escape to... they are level 6 now, after all. His...
Will, I'm sorry, I have to get off. I'm gonna be no help here. Dozing every
No
minute.
worries, buddy. I can tell you're falling asleep. No worries, my man. I will chat to you soon. Is there somewhere folks can follow you?
Yeah, I'll be back here on Wednesday. Come back for that.
Well, we're tied on Wednesday. We'll see you soon, my man.
Bye.
All right, later, buddy. All right then. So Phil actually has a condition where he can't stay awake a lot of the time. So he's gonna dive out for now, and he'll be back on Wednesday. Now it's just you and I, my friends. So let's do this. So if it turns to violence, he will attempt to escape and retreat down into his lab. Oh, I like that. Sketch of alchemy apparatus which has no labels. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I like it. Retreat down into his lab. Perception check. Yeah, alchemy. Well, maybe the sketch of alchemy apparatus, which looks suspect and has maybe enjoy Ryan, buddy. As drawings of like a human body on it, which is definitely suspect. You know, this is like experimenting on a dude. You know, why have you got a picture of a man's body there, dude? No reason. Okay, so he'll attempt to escape and retreat down to his lab. One way or another, they're going to end up exploring this old alchemy lab of his. So, the lab. Yeah, one way or another, the party are going to end up exploring the lab entrance. Oops. Down which Lucian has fled. Check this here. Hey to Laura Lania for the host as well. How you doing, Laura? Excited for Wednesday's game. Yes, okay. That there. So, we need to know what is down here. What is in the lab? What are Lucian's abilities? Yeah, okay, so he's got a lab filled with, like, mutated people, I'm guessing. But, are there any... Oh, another question as well. Are there any traps? Are there... I'm imagining he's got this place booby-trapped. A flesh golem. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, yeah, a flesh golem, which he has been experimenting with. Alchemy porn. Oh, man. Okay, let's see. Are there traps in the lab? I'm gonna say Lucian has the lab booby-trapped to the teeth in case anyone were to come snooping around and discover his secrets. I want to use a flesh golem so much. He can buy them pretty cheap on eBay at least. Oh wait, no, that's a flashlight. My mistake. Yeah, okay. That was a big surprise when that came in the mail. What kind of traps would a crazy alchemist keep in his basement? Lucy might have activated some traps down the ladders to lead the lab itself. Oh, I like that, yeah. So, on the ladder... Oh, I don't want it in the header. Whoops. On the ladder leading down... to the lab. There's got to be something creepy going on in there, isn't it? Let's go to this. Nailed it. Ladder down to the lab. Maybe something on like the bars, an acid spray. I like that. A failed experiment of flaying tentacles and crab claws. Was that Mr. Ghost writing a thing? Drowning in lemon juice, Fletcher. Man, with tiny paper cuts attacking you at the same time, and then lemon juice squeezed onto them. The pain. But we are writing a beginner's adventure. A glue bomb, something that keeps them there. I like the idea of acid spray. A black pudding. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so there is a 60-foot and this is something I'm stealing. There is a 60-foot ladder leading down to the lab. And when they reach, or when the first person, and this is from Domes of Ishak Zahur, which is a module I got kickstarted, and we played maybe like 6 months ago or so. It was a lot of fucking fun. But basically, you're on a ladder. The first person gets halfway down. I look really tiny. There we go. The first person gets halfway down the ladder, and at which point something activates, and a black pudding, or as it was in the module, an ooze is released from the ceiling, which begins to work its way down. I like it. When the first person reaches 30 feet, or halfway down, decayed carcass, that could be cool, or halfway down, a black pudding. Oh man, black pudding is the best. Tentacles lash out from a sewer grate next to the door. We could link it back to the spider. Yeah, the spider from the previous episode in the sewers. I like it. Okay, alright. Yeah. A black pudding is unleashed from the ceiling, which begins to descend down. Yes, I like it. I like it a lot. And then, okay, once within the lab, they can see, oh yeah, that they are, what if they're standing on iron bars, which look down into the sewers they were in last episode. Not only that, oh, this is good. Not only that, but they can see that the giant spider's nest, oh, is below them. Oh, gross. And that's what's led it to be like mutated, because this guy's been experimenting on them. So rewind an episode. There's a giant spider which has been mutated to all shit, which was in the sewers. That was the last episode, and I didn't know where it came from. But what if it came from down here? And this guy's been experimenting on it and changing all sorts of features about it by experimenting with drugs. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Spiderlings crawl through the cracks, oops, in the sewer grates, in the iron bars, and litter the floor. The ground is covered in a series of spider webs. Yeah, and the room is poorly lit. It is not lit whatsoever. Okay. Hey, yes, man. What's up, buddy? How PCs do? We'll say versus fear. Ooh, that could be interesting. Some kind of fear element where if they get across, usually fear is magically introduced, right? Happy Mother's Day for those of you in America. It's not Mother's Day over here. I think we did Mother's Day like a week or two before. The ground's covered in serious spiderwebs and the room is poorly lit. Okay, now the giant spider queen, slumbers below. What if it's like tubes? It is clear from the tubing leading from the lab down into her abdomen. Ugh. This is gross. That she is being experimented upon. The tubes, like a funnel web. Yeah. Oh, the tubes lead to great jars of a whitish substance, which looks very much like sludge, the drug that they have encountered previously. Ew, gross. Now, I wonder what the abilities of the spider are now that she's been experimented upon. And maybe the Spiderlings have been mutated as well. Yeah, Spiderlings have been mutated by the drugs. A putrid stench, yeah, I like it. A putrid stench emanates. Hey, Tuna! 7 months! Appreciate my man, a gentleman and a scholar. Let's raise some drinks in chat for Tuna, everybody. There we go, my man. Bones littering the floor. Ooh. Oh, yeah, because they've got other humans here as well. Putrid stench emanates. Emanates? Yes. No, emanates. Nailed it. From the room. How you doing, Tuna? Good to see you, man. Okay, Spiderlings have been mutated by the drugs. And as such, many of them bear extra limbs, extra legs, some even have multiple heads. Oh, that's gross. Yeah, getting grossing myself out here. I'm like right side and I'm like, oh god, that's horrible. That's too much. It's too much. Extra legs. Some even have multiple heads. Yeah, the hanging from the iron bars below. I'm grieving myself out, Richard. Hanging from the iron bars below. Extra eyes. Ugh. Oh, what if there's like eyes on the eyes? Who watches the Watchmen? Have some covered in boils that let explode. Oh, like pustulant boils. Oh. When Denver Airport on the way to Omaha. Oh, nice. What are you doing there, man? You just work? Spiders imbue sludge poison. That is cool. That is cool. Yeah. Below are the web-wrapped victims for the Queen's children. Who watches the Watchmen? Watchmen. That's a good point. That's a good point. I just joined, and the first word I heard was legs. How are you doing, Henry the Llama? There are many legs around here, my friend. We're writing an adventure right now. Good to see you, my dude. I like the idea that they're covered in pustulant boils, which look ready to burst with a clear fluid at any moment. Yeah, oh man. Their fangs imbibe the poison sludge into their victims. Gross. Gross is what this is. Gross. Some can even pulsate. Oh! Pulsating. I guess pestilent. Ah, well, petulant. Pulsating boils, what we'll call it. Aloha, Louise. How's it going? Extra limbs, great for reaching those down mason jars and Thanksgiving generals. Very true. Very useful. Many uses. Pulsating pustules? Maybe that's the word I was looking for. Pulsating pustules. That'll do. That'll do. 2.5 will save. Pestilent. Okay. See the word spiders and I'm immediately not okay. It isn't very okay right now, to be honest. It's gross. So we're walking into an alchemy lab. There's all sorts of evil things in here, like spiders. Okay, so what if the spiders... Let's go to this. What if... Let's change this one. What is in the lab? What if the spider's like in a sleeping state right now, and the task is to have to like sneak by without pulsating pestilent puzzles, without like touching any of the webs? They have to go on like tables and stuff like that, and they have to like climb around. And maybe they've got spider climb, so that's not going to work. So we're going to have like webs all over the ceiling as well. It's a friendly adventure. Yeah, it's beginner friendly. So okay. I like it. I like it. So the ground, walls and ceilings of the... What if they burn it all? Yeah, there's got to be something that they have to save. Maybe there are twitching people who are still alive. Ceilings of the lab are covered. And what if, I don't know, we could be that guy and say like the web is like anti magic or anti fire, you know, not very flammable because it's like wet maybe. Are covered in webbing. Currently, the Spider Queen. Great fireball explosion. It's an alchemy lab, it's true. Currently, the Spider Queen and her... Oops, that's caps. And her children lay in sleep. Oh, yeah, egg sacs, yeah. Ooh. Egg sacs are scattered about the room. And they seem connected to the webs. If touched, the queen will awaken and the eggs will burst. Leroy! It's been 12 years since Leroy Jenkins. Good times. Good times. Have a large table covered in ruddy cloth, caked in dry blood that when removed reveals a flesh guard has been experimented on. I like it. I like it. The party aren't very Leroy, to be fair on them, so they haven't rushed into anything yet, and there's been plenty of opportunities to, so yeah, so they've got to, there is a way across to the other side where a door, gotta take it on the other side, where a door leads to marked no Leroy. I'll sub for a month if they do. Door marked Professor Werrance. Lies. This is where they must have. This is where he must have fled to. The way across. God damn it, Tuna. Dang. Are they leery of Leroy? They are, my friend. I hate to say it, but all right, let's Let's go over here. Swimmer Split 2. The way across involves a series of tables with cloth over them. With successful acrobatics, athletics checks, it would be possible to jump across the room. We could even map it if we wanted to. I haven't done mapping in a long time. I was talking about doing more of that the other day. To jump across the room and get to the door without disturbing the webs of the queen. So they're gonna have to have us like a series of checks which don't seem to be I mean, like, no immediate harm comes if they like fall off, but then the Spider Queen wakes up and then whole hell breaks loose. Let me find my game here. It'd be kind of cool to map this one out. Abilities are planting diaries, giving socks to house elves, and wearing dark hooded robes. Those who should not be named. Indeed, indeed. How did you know? How did you know? What's up, Winter Depths? How you going? So what are Lucian's abilities? So, I like the idea of the flesh girl, and this is testament to what is going on down here. So this, so breaking through to Lucian's chamber will grant them will grant them protection from the spiders should they have awakened them. So it's possible to escape because Lucian would be aware that he'd need a door to, you know, properly hide from the spider if needed. Thank you, Papa Princess. How you doing? You might try to buy them the last time. Oh, shall I buy them out? That's kind of interesting. I could see that. I could see that. Let's go here. This is my roll 20. Kind of want to map this one. It seems like a super interesting scene. Let's go to a new page. Let's see. Does this work? This work? There we go. We'll go over here. He is a businessman after all. Yeah, he'll try and buy him off. That's what most evil people try and do, right? Let's go to our map and background. Let's see. We need let's search for a lab. There might be a cool lab lying around in Roll20's free assets that we can take. I'm bad at making labs or making maps. Sorry. So what I do is usually I just find the free assets and use them because fuck paying. Oh, fuck being able to draw. This is a cool. It could be a lab. That could be a lab. Oh, what the hell is this thing? A beholder in a tank? Fuck yeah. I mean, maybe not a beholder in a tank, but also maybe a beholder in a tank. This looks better than this. This looks kind of crappy. We don't need a beholder in a tank. This could be Lucian's room. This could be his chamber here, and we could have like an adjoining chamber like here-ish maybe. That could work. That could work. Or we could just draw it up ourselves. What's that? Nah, it doesn't look good. Got other things in tanks that could be cool. That could be like, you know, in Jurassic Park when he's cool day. There's always even like raptors in tanks. That could be cool. That could be cool. Things that we could add into our little lab here. Welcome to my lab. I want a kind of more open chamber. Let's search for like maybe prisons. That could work. A Frankenstein lab or a rock. More Frankenstein-y, I think. How you doing, Abby? We always need a beholder in a tank. What are you talking about? That is true. That is true. I could see how that would be useful. Prison maps are all a bit weird looking, honestly, but there you go. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I'm getting carried away. No, these are already catching my eye too much. What is this? Lava? I mean, this could work, but the lava bit, is there a way to, like, cut? Oh, wait, we could just do this. Ha! We're clever now. Basically do this. If we made this way bigger, then that could work. This lab looks kind of sweet. It's got, like, tables on it and shit, and we could spidery it up, you know? We could spidery it up. There we go. And then we could dynamic lighting to get rid of the non-lava stuff. So, fuck 'em. So, fuck 'em. That works. I mean, this is a bit different scale, right? That looks a bit better. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll call it a day of that. There we go. So this could be where they kind of enter in, almost. Let's make this a little bigger for you guys. I like this lab too. This is my kind of lab. If I had to hang out in a creepy lab, it'd be this one. It'd be this one. Okay, now we need to spidery it up a bit, I feel. I feel we need some more, like, webs. Let's search for webs. There's gotta be a way to make this more spidery. Web 1, yes. That is what I want. Webs everywhere. Now we're gonna copy pasta. We're gonna copy pasta the shit out of it. And, oops, did not want to do that. Oh wait, I want these. Yeah, I do want these in the map and background layer, don't I? Fuck 'em. Different kind of man cave. A plucky neutral good Duragar? That sounds like a good time. I haven't ever played a Duragar. I don't think. Now what we're going to do is we're going to twist them, then copy that one, and now we've got different fucking webs. Look how crazy it is. Oh my god. Now it looks like a totally different token. We are crazy. Web, 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 web. Web, 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 web. And then we're going to add some tables in over the top. Oh, how the tables have turned. What's up, Mike? How you doing, buddy? In time for my fucking terrible pun. There we go. There we go. Now we got a web. We got a webland. Webland, yeah. Let's make some bigger webs as well, like that. Haha. Ha ha. Nailed it. Got a fever and your only cure is more spider webs. Ha! Have I... You like spider webs? Now, a brief word from our sponsors. The spiders. Okay, now we need a spider token. We need a 10 out of 10 commentary. Would do again. Thank you for the host tag, Lily. Oh, look at this spider. Let's find a good spider. She needs to be big. Oh, she needs to be big. Oh. Do we like the Black Widow spider like that? Or do we like this spider like so? She's good as well. She's good as well. I came here for the beholder tanks. We've also got like hairy spiders. This is like a hunting spider. Like so. And that does look quite at home in here. That does look quite at home here. And then we've just got like a full-on like midnight black one. Which spider do we like the best? Choose your poison, my friends. Choose your poison. It is grim. Looking at this makes my well, real elf, please stand up. We'd have a... I think I'm going for this one, maybe? This is where I stop looking at the stream. I don't like this one very much. This one looks a bit too, like, graphic-y, maybe. The black one? Let's go with this one. Let's go with this one. Alright, so she is asleep. She's actually going to be... She'll be in the objects and tokens layer, like so. But we need a lot of... are you kidding me? The views are going up, man. The views are going up. The webs, like so, around her. She'd be particularly, like, wrapped into the webs, I'm guessing. You know, it's probably how spiders work, right? Sounds like science to me. Okay. Fuck 'em. Can you maybe get an actual green screen job? Fuck that, man. I'm not catching any spiders. Yeah. Although if you hear a scream, it's probably that Sydney's found a spider and she wants me to get it. He's invoking the power of Kill It With Fire. I agree. Kill It With Fire is a very powerful Very powerful tool. Now we need some spiderlings. Now maybe the little spiders are these ones. These ones can be the baby ones. The babby spiders. And they're going to come in through here. This can be their entrance way that they've entered in through. So, we in objects and tokens? No. Layer. Tokens. Hairy spiders look more warped. Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, corpse webbing. Yeah, I'll see if I can find any of those tokens. We can also tint them as well. Let's see what happens when we tint these guys. We tint them like darker. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Like a slightly darker, a bit like her. We could also tint her if we wanted. Oh, she's in the wrong layer too. God damn it, we'll never get her out now. Are you in there, Spider? Are you sure she's not there? Oh, I can't select that, fuck. She's trapped. She's trapped. There we go. Fantastic. We could also tint her a darker color, maybe. Or even a browner. I like that. That's cooler. That's cooler. Spider cannibals are always fun. Like when a woman spider kills a bro spider. Yeah, that's always a good time. So fire can kill the characters. Oh yeah, maybe the sludge is actually like explosive and it would blow up them. Bear in mind, if they start firing here, maybe there's no way that they can get back up because maybe the black pudding is closed off the exit, so the only way out of here is onwards. That's probably the way we do it, right? So a bunch of spiderlings who are currently chilling, just broing out right now, and like that, just around the room. And now we need some good old giant dead daddy spider corpses. That could be cool. That could be cool. What else do we want? I wanted tables. I let spiders live in my house. They are so appreciated. No mosquitoes around here. You are a brave man. Braver man than I, my good man. Let's see. Let's see if we can... That's about the size I want a table to be. So we can have a bunch of tables sat around here, within about 10 feet or so. What are you? Damn it, we're on the wrong layer again. Does anyone else do that? Always get the wrong layers for things? I do that every fucking time I map. It's been a long time since I've mapped as well, so I'm pretty a little rusty on all this stuff. What's up, multi nerd? Have them move around a box and bazillion spiderlings come out like fuck you. Write a word with tables. Hello. So maybe like this, like so, and then these are above like the spider line, but then you've got this like big gap in between here, and maybe the table's been sort of, yeah, like this. So it's a bit of a scary jump in between here. So you got like a 15 feet jump in between here, whereas you got like a 10 feet in there, which is like doable. But this one's a kind of scary one, and then you're kind of in the clear if you can make it across to there. And then the last bit would be like a mad dash, I think. Maps and I don't get along. Guess I had to. Yeah, you gotta say hi now. I say hi. It's only polite. More bug catchers. Man, I can't deal with spiders. I mean, I'm fine with them for a while, but then when they're like big and when they're like fast, I can't deal with spiders. I tell you what I want this could be the sewers, and now if this could be green somehow, that would be actually really sweet, because we said that it leads down into the sewers and that is the home of the spider. So if we could have like a sewage system running down there, that could be kind of cool. What about this? Like that, and that could maybe, you know, intersect and run off there maybe. And if we had it to, okay, we need that to go to the back, like so, then that could be kind of neat. You can see where it runs underneath. Yeah, me likey. Let's get rid of that, like so, like so. Pro tip, hold down Alt when dragging maps. Grey brownish, that could work, yeah. Spiders are an ugly cousin, but they have a heart of gold. I don't know about that. Put one corner on a spider room, not the office entrance. I just want to cover up the orange, honestly. But we can do that as well. We just copy this one and turn it around. Turn it around so it lines up with that. And we send this one to the back. Something like that. To back, and then this one to back. Alright. Coolio. Coolio. Now it runs underneath it. Just not buckets of spiders. There are lots of spiders, I will say. That there are this amount of spiders. There's one big one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little ones currently, but we can balance this encounter to whatever makes sense in a little bit here. Just wants to do his alchemy job. He's got things to kill. It's the alchemist's escape route. Oh yeah, maybe there's an entrance down the yeah, it was like a sewer grate. A search for sewer grate. Sewer grate. It's gotta be a thing for that, right? Spider swarm. They're only premium assets for that? What about just grate? Is it too specific to search for sewer grate? Okay, there are some grates here. Kind of. This'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. We'll put it at the back. Like here. That can be his escape route. Maybe he tries to get out of it, you know? Just put a toilet hole in there. Could be an entrance to City Crypt? I like it. Man, this map is looking much cooler now. Can we... What happens if we tint this? What happens? And if we don't like it, we can untint it. I like what that did. It made it darker and creepier. How great? I mean... Pretty great, to be honest. Pretty fucking great. Yeah, I like that. Now we can... Now we could fuck around with dynamic lighting as well. I mean, that's something I think I can do, right? Let's also tint this one. Make it a bit creepier. Thank you for following Steeler Bauer. The new graphic. Look at the new graphic. There it is. Thank you for following. Yeah, okay. Zombie spiders. You guys are like, I hate spiders. And then you're like, fuck me up with some more spiders, Will. Man. Okay, I need a doorway real quick as well. Just a door. Can you tint the webs? Yeah, but it would take me a million years. Yeah, it would take me a long time. And I'm lazy. Let's just bring a door in here. I adore this. Kill me. Okay, let's tint the door. We love pain. What can I say? Headcanon accepted. Werewolf spiders, to be honest. Wow, you guys, you love the pain, don't you? You love the pain. How do we make... Okay, here's the thing. How do we make a zombie... How do we make a zombie... spider? I don't even know. You have to like mash them two together. The wasp-controlled cockroaches. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, I like it. Zombie cockroaches. Fuck me. Can you get cockroaches? Cockroach. This is gross if they exist. They do, but yet they're premium assets. How much is this asset? I don't really want to pay like $10 for a fucking cockroach, you know? $5. Smoking tokens. Now you do get a lot of monsters there, but I don't play with that many bugs. So, I'll pass on cockroaches there, I think. Thank you very much. It was always risky typing in something with the word cock in it. Okay, what I wanted to do was a thing, and I've forgotten what the thing was. Oh, we wanted to dynamic light. We wanted to add in a few torches in here that they could see. Torches that could hang on the side of walls. And this is in the right layer, right? There's a wasp that uses an oxo... yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. And I've also seen, like, is it ants or something that you get zombie ants because there's a certain plant which lets out this toxin and it makes the ants go and get it food, basically, and they become zombies. I saw a fucking video about it on YouTube sometime. It was creepy. It wasn't good. Don't watch that video. But at the same time, it was cool. So let's put a few torches in here, and we can. Oh, I'll tell you what. If I start giving them light now, it'll be easier than doing it later. Emits light. What do we want? 20 feet of light in here, something like that. And then it could be a little bit creepy. All players see light. No. I guess yes. I guess yes? I don't know. Ants get infected with a fungus. Oh, dude. Werewasps. It injects their heads. What is wrong with you, Louise? Can you answer me that, please? Let's copy this one. Do I want to give all players sight or do I not? I forget which one I want to do with Roll20. It's been so long since I fucked around with dynamic lighting. But hey, it's actually quite easy to make fucking tokens and maps like this, right? It's you don't have to be a D&D sex icon like me just to many things. Dude, I couldn't fucking deal if I was an ant and I had to go and get food for someone else. Fuck that life, man. Fuck that life. I'm just getting all the ants for my queen, you know? That's all I'm doing. As a true Englishman wasp. The zombie plant thing injects the ant heads. Fuck, man. Nature is amazing, but it's also really fucking gross. And so is D&D. Sex spiders dungeons. So there's no lights in the center. We're also gonna have a light here. Here. We'll have this be lit. It is fucking lit, my friends. So we need to add in dynamic lighting to our thing, right? So dynamic lighting enabled in force line of sight. Sure. Fog of war. Sure. It's a fungus called cordyceps, not short and span. Okay. Fuck me. Play on load. Don't know what that means. Oh, music. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that is now dynamic lighting. So if we bring in a token, Drow PDSM, let's bring in like a fighter. Let's bring in let's bring in Wilbur from the other day. Come on, Wilbur. Come on, buddy. Let's put you in the right layer first of all. Tokens. So if we make this Wilbur, holy mackerel, and they come in from here, then this represents. Okay. That doesn't matter. Controlled by all players. Advanced is given what? 60? Dark vision. Is it 30 dark vision? I don't know. I'll put it 30 just to be more scary because fuck the rules. Has sight. Where's his sight? Okay, and then it's what? What is it to see as a player would see? I think it's like Control L or something like that. I don't remember the command. What's the safe word? Oh man. Oh, maybe we haven't added in any dynamic lighting yet. Maybe that's our problem. Menzo Baranzan. Fuck me. This point to this point here. I think this is how you dynamic light, right? Did that do it? Did that do the thing? It did. Did the thing. Daddy, are you proud? Let's do this. Some clicking, some clacking. I think this is how you dynamic light. I don't remember. That's what Lope said. Hey. Man. I haven't read a Forgotten Realms novel in quite some time now. Have you guys read any recently? I haven't been keeping up on the Drist or anything like that. I heard they're pretty good still. To black out the walls. Is that what I'm doing now? I feel like I'm doing that now. Can I undo that last one? Yeah, let's bring this up like here. Let's fuck him. Oh, it's all going so wrong. I haven't done any dynamic lighting in centuries. I just let Roll20 do it for me. Okay, I'm doing it good. I'm doing good. You proud of me now, Dad? You proud of me now? Let's black out like that. Like so. Alright, so Forgotten Realms, like the Driss book, the setting that D&D's currently set on. Like me some R.A. Salvatore. Me too. had a chat with Ed Greenwood about stuff in the past, and he's been he's been writing stuff, and that's all been top-notch stuff. I don't find so much time to read as I'd like to currently. I'm sure it's probably the same for most of us. Who we got? Frags. Frags are 9 months. Our baby is born. A gentleman and a scholar. Feel free to name it, Frags. Raise some drinks in chat, my man. For the Cadley books, I don't think I've heard of those. Which ones are they? Let's move that like so. Like so. JJ, what am I doing here? Thanks, Frags. Oh, the Cleric Quintet. Now, I might have heard those. Are those from the 80s? 90s? I don't know. Are they older ones? I seem to recall there being something about that. Let's not do that. So let's right click to end it. Like so. The sewer will just dynamically light for a moment. Man, this light is so dynamic. JJ, what am I doing here? Thank you, Urban Lady. How you doing, buddy? Alright, let's do that one, and then we should be done with dynamic lighting after this. I think. Methinks. 90s, okay, yeah. I remember them being in my school library when I was like 13 or so, and I think I read one of them. I read a Dragonlance series when I was around that age. I don't remember it very well though, unfortunately. So yeah, the fantasy novels that I read that stuck with me a bit more were the Drizzt series. I have to say, I have to admit. Okay, so we dynamically lit that. Okay. This needs to have light, it has sight. Okay, it's controlled by the players. What are we doing wrong here? Let's start dynamic lighting. We need to give these light, maybe? I don't remember, guys, honestly. Has sight, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Drizzt, our fave edgelord. I can't dig the American accent when you say that, Hostler. JJ, what am I doing here? The Hanks. Alright, well, fuck dynamic lighting. How do I do it? How does one and dynamic lighting? Legend by David Gemmell. I haven't heard of that. That's the Salvatore one as well. Okay. Maybe I didn't read that one. I don't remember. It was quite a long time ago now, but... Salvatore. Old Bob. Old Bob, he's got some good books up his sleeve, isn't he? We also need an alchemist. How do I be dynamic? I'm trying to be dynamic here. This can be our Lucian Werrance figure. For sure. For sure. Lucian Werrance. It's controlled by me, the Dungeon Master. Okay. Okay. We got our spider. I'll figure out the dynamic lighting some other time, maybe. Because... Oh, there's my lab thing. There's my... There it is. I can't get to it. Oh, no. Well, we've got a test tube fucking thing there now, so... So, for those of you who wanted the test tube beholder, we've got a test tube weird buggy insect thing now, so... So, there we go. Sort of Strahd books? I haven't read those either. I've read Curse of Strahd, but... Old Dying Warrior Dross who fights until death and then again after. Sounds cool. Sounds cool. When I was a kid, I read... God, what was it I was reading? I really loved the... Way of the Shadow series. That was fantastic when I was a little boy. Use spiders. Yeah, there are a lot of spiders in here. There are a lot of spiders. Full disclosure. I don't know how to read. That doesn't surprise me, anyways. Okay. Anything else we need to add into the scene? Anything else we need to add in? Oh, black pudding is what we need. Black pudding. Not pizza. I almost typed in pizza. Big spooder. What about ooze? And we can just tint it black. Fuck 'em. The Way of the Shadows was the fucking shit when I was a kid, man. This is basically an ooze. And we can tint the fucker. Dead bodies, you're right. You're right, from. This can be our black pudding. We'll keep it off the screen for now. It sounds good, actually. I would definitely read a book set in the Ravenloft universe. I fucking love it. It's really cool. JJ, what am I doing here? How you doing, Ram? Little 420 Spider Gang. That's right. They only show up at a certain time of day, or they all go out of office at about 4:20 and they fuck around. Where Shadows is a fantastic book, which I have no clue because I can't read. But if I could, it's 10 out of 10. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's a dwarf. Spiders, bodies. Need bodies. Bring me bodies. Ooh, that's a sci-fi body. That's a woman who's been split down the middle. That's a mummified man. It's also a mummified man. What about just corpse? That might work better. Fiddler and Monk, but nice. I've been there, man. I've been there. You should see my coding fucking lessons I took. Dead dog. Oh man, everyone feels bad when there's a dead dog. You can't tell me you feel good about this. If you do, you're fucked up. There's a dead dog on this one. And it's going in a map layer. Ooh! Got any dead dwarves? Yeah, you know there's around here somewhere. I need a man. I need a man. I need a man. This guy will do. Happy Mummy's Day. That's how it goes. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Let's tint him white. Oh my god, whitewashing on Encounter Roleplay. Kappa. There we go. On the table, a dissection table. Ooh. The dissection table. Man, any other bodies we need? Oh yeah, this could be our flesh golem, dude. This could be the body of our flesh golem. Oops, he is getting bigger. Somebody cast enlarge reduce, am I right? Let's put him in the map layer. Let's also tint this guy white. What is the dog killer? Not sure if I can admit to that, but certainly is a dead dog here, so what can I say? It's not actually white, so it looks like it's been covered in webs. Do not recommend dog murder. Would not kill again. What's up, Inzray? A dead drunk halfling or two wrapped in silk cannon. Cocoon. Doggy flesh golem, so wrong. That does not sound good, my friend. That does not sound good whatsoever. We got dead dog. We got our golem dude. We got our spider. Hello! I feel like I've definitely fucked up dynamic laying. Somehow, but hell. But hell. Fuck him. Is it consensual? I think not. Have a dead one everything, so have a pick and mix. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. What else might he have in his in his lab? A statue. A statue or something. Oh wait, I need a Yuan-Ti, I think. Also, this statue is fucking creepy. Look at that. Look at this bad boy. What the fuck has she been up to? I don't want to know. There she goes. There she goes again. I want to go to back, and then I want to go this one to back. There we go. She's covered in spider webs. That was looking nice, yeah. Dog meat. Weirdo experiments and stuff in jars. Okay, we have some jars. Jars. Oh, it's a good jar. Nice jar. Is it though? There's an egg in that one. What about potion? Potion might work better. Some really nice flowers. Yeah, no, he's gone for his Mother's Day. He's just chilling. There's some potions. Potion seller. You can't handle my strongest potions. Potion seller, I'm going into battle. I need your finest potions. You can't handle my finest potions. Fuck not PNGs. And fuck no alpha. Okay. spruce up the place. Yeah. Yeah, just really, you know, give it a homely feel, you know? You want your undead lab to feel like home, and that's exactly what what we'll be doing. Then on racks of jars, various fruit jams. I like it, Battle Chimp. Yes, ones that his mother has sent to him as a thank you. 0 days since the last incident. Is that thing in the US office where they've got that sign up and Michael just crashes through it? Yeah, I like it. I want to tint these as well. They look a bit too, like, stand-outy, you know? If they're darker, pro tip, just, like, tint some stuff and it looks like it's way more in place on that map than it did before. Hashtag pro map maker. Lunchbox for a moment. That's a good point. Everyone needs a good lunch. Most important meal of the day. How about a mimic or two, an arachnid gone of eyes? Is there a mimic on the map? Mimic. Jason's last scandal. Oh yeah, we could put a mimic, as this chest could be a mimic here. And we could put this in the GM's info. Sack of rusty tools? Toolkit, yeah. Put that in the GM layer so they won't be able to see it. Ha 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 ha. Evil. Evil. Dissection tools. Let's see, tools. If I search for tools, does anything come up? This comes up. This is like a rack of tools, right? Looks like chicken legs, but I think it's actually tools. A motivational cat poster. The last thing they'd expect. Yeah, this is some weird, creepy looking tools here as well, look. There we go, girl. Do you have a bed? That is true. He probably does sleep in here. Probably does sleep in here. He's got some weird pair of, like, tongs or shears for taking hot things out of the oven. Bed. Sleeping male. No, I just want a bed, thank you. This'll do. KFC never tasted so spidery. That's their new motto. Their new catchphrase. Let's get that in there. There we go. Furby's always keeping him one of those. Alright, I think we're good. I think we are. Let's put that in the right layer real quick. This is looking pretty creepy to me. This is looking pretty fucking creepy, if I'm not mistaken. Now... Hey! Shalom! For the 3 months! Woot woot! Thanks, Shalom! A gentle lady and scholar. Raise some drinks in Shaft Shalom. There we go. There we go. Man, this map is... Yeah, we still got it. We still got it. You know, they said, Will, you can't map. You're not good at that mapping thing. What are you talking about? And I'm like, hello. Actually, I'm the greatest. So yeah. Let's see. I want to click in on a thing off here. Oh, there we go. Don't got my drinks anymore. No, Castilla, no! Tripwires, pressure plates. We could have a trap or two. We could have a trap or two. Let's just search in trap. Ooh, this is a nice trap. Well, I say a nice... Is there any really such thing as a nice trap? I mean, let's consider that, but... They walk in through the door, boom, trap. Oiland Masterpiece. Yeah, this is... Wizards are hiring me to do their new maps. So, kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. Okay. Alright. Tell you what I want to do for the Gary's Dead. Maybe he just set it up as they run in here. Maybe he just sets it up as they run in, as he's running here and trying to escape. He lays down a trap like he's got set up. I like that. I tell you what I want to do for the last half an hour before we go to our next show, which is a tutorial on DM basics, basically. With Valonda, who will be joining us in about 30 minutes. I want to look at some Kickstarter projects, like so, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at them, and the videos are often cringe-inducing and hilarious. Mounted vaults with a trap. A vault would be cool. Let me just add in a quick vault. Fall into a pit of pillows of beautiful one. Hey guys. Vaults is to see if we can just. I guess a safe. A safe. Thank you to Mr. Plunderloop for following. Welcome to the adventure, my man. A gentleman and a skull. Let's put a safe in here real quick. Let's just tint that as well whilst we're still on our game. Just made the best mistake ever. Welcome in, buddy. You're surprised at the amount of people that say that. So I want to take a look at a couple of Kickstarter projects. Some of them will be good. Some of them will just be hilariously bad, the worst ones that we can find, and we'll have a bit of a laugh. The videos are usually quite funny because there are some very odd creators.
400 years. That's what the vids say.
Oh my god, the vids.
400 years since humans first left Earth to spread to the stars. And spread we did.
Spread we did.
New homes on a myriad of worlds.
This guy sounds really bored.
Compatible planets, or
There we go.
terraforming incompatible planets to our needs. Always ruled by governments and corporations on Earth. And then Earth vanished.
Earth vanished.
Well, for all intents and purposes, anyway. All comms stopped.
I love the voice acting in this.
Earth stopped responding. Ships set to investigate never returned.
It's only in my right ear.
The chaos as their various governing bodies no longer dictated colonial relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Actions or political endeavors. So they banded together in their own colonial states.
Oh yeah, it's thumping.
Centered around who had the most resources. Been 42 years since Earth went dark, but we seem to be surviving. The colonies keep a tenuous balance between themselves, but hell, they
I'm not sure, download. This is a Kickstarter for a game called Stellar Chaos. Stellar Chaos.
Right now, most
Artwork
of us
looks
just
okay.
try to survive, carving out
Doesn't look like fantastic.
lives where we can. But often it's more of the same, really. The rich get richer, the poor stay poor. Corporations sway governments. The righteous think they're right all the time. And those who bend and break the law, well, they do whatever the hell they
What's up,
want.
Kooky? How you doing, man?
It can be a crapshoot, but then again, we're all just dealing with
Stellar chaos.
There it is. Let's watch that again. That was fun. That was enjoyable. We're all just dealing with Stellar Chaos.
It can be a crapshoot, but then again, we're
Oh,
all just
man.
dealing with
Stellar chaos.
Stellar Chaos. What is Stellar Chaos? First two sessions of my first campaign. Awesome, dude.
Our flagship game, it's pretty much set in dozens of
Almost everyone that makes these games, yeah.
worlds with no content.
It's called like Jason or Brett.
All of these corporations have taken over.
Title screen, I know.
And the player and the GM can pretty much make it up as they go along with, some planets being discovered and some, habitable, I can't say that word very well. Planets that haven't been discovered yet, and that leaves it open for the players and the GM to try to explore the world a little bit more.
So the idea is that there are some worlds that are explored, but some worlds which aren't explored. That is a novel idea.
So, the backstory of the game is pretty much set in concrete, all the way up to what's considered present day.
I like his shirt, by the way.
At present day, that's where game campaigns start, and at that point, there is no set in concrete storyline. It's all up to the GM and the players to write the rest of the Stellar Chaos story.
That sounds like, most games, right? I don't know. Yeah, it sounds quite like Traveller.
As they see fit in their universe.
Mongoose came out of a second edition of Traveller recently, didn't they? Sure thing, Danlo.
There are different.
Don't let this guy talk again. Don't let Brett talk.
Based off of your jobs and your skills, where you can play as an ambassador and never once, do violence on another living creature
Do violence on another living creature.
in the game. seem fit to. You know, you could have
Agree,
people
Sean.
that are all like private detectives, all just trying to figure out, you know, who did the murder and never once, you know, raise a hand in violence. And the whole system can accommodate everything from, you know, Soldier A to, you know, Common Joe Mechanic, and that's.
Well, not only that.
I mean, the theory of that
it's
sounds
also
fine.
Flexible enough that you can go from you have a small group of people investigating something to, you know, you're controlling a fleet of ships that are off to, you know,
Can we talk about this music for a second?
go take over
In fact, let's not.
this colony that stepped out of line.
What do we want to accomplish? This is important with a Kickstarter, right?
Okay, so
What kind of stellar chaos is that? It's just stellar. If you don't kill anything, then it's just stellar.
in the game, why do we need the funding?
We need to find
He looked at him like, shit, I hadn't thought about that.
funding for artists, typesetters.
We need to be able to make sure that the book is laid out properly. We need to ensure
His shirt has changed, you're right. How did his shirt change? When did that happen?
while we do have artwork, we need a lot more. Having these people on board as part
The
of
artwork looks kind of nice.
would be
Wasn't, like,
allow us
fantastic.
to ensure that the quality is met and that there is proper teamwork and guidance in the direction that we want, layout and art.
Okay.
And some of the additional writing that still needs to be done for some background.
He's showing all the dice now.
Very coherent and in line with the rest of the game and the universe and our vision for everything. And we want you
There's definitely a kid in the background now.
the best product that we can give you. So please help us reach our goal. You're not only helping to launch a game, but you're supporting the indie gaming industry.
Well, I can do that in a lot of ways.
We're gamers just like you, and we want to support a creative and innovative gaming community.
It sounds interesting.
And by supporting Stellar Chaos, you're giving us the opportunity to give you guys a voice in how you
Spent
want
everything on wardrobe.
So support Monkeys Games, support Stellar Chaos,
Okay.
and have a gaming experience with more facets than just a D20.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm not blown away. I'm not blown away by it. I mean, fuck me, they wanted $40,000. 40 grand is the top. Oh man, come on, guys. I like this though. Stellar Chaos. It's a gift. This artwork looks nice. All of the concept art looks kind of sweet. You know, nothing wrong. That, but asking for 40 grand on like your initial goal on Kickstarter. I mean, yeah. They're the only independent creator on Kickstarter. This is the only way to support the indie gaming industry. So let's see what the pledges are. What's the lowest level pledge? $1, $1, and then $10 gets you Hall of Fame, $10 game manual PDF. That's quite reasonable, $10 for a PDF. But yeah, 40 grand, and this is their first ever Kickstarter by the looks of things. Is probably not going to happen, and they got 7 days to, you know, wish them the best of luck. But is that gonna cut it really? I mean, probably not. I mean, the video wasn't terrible. There are definitely worse videos that I have seen, but yeah, I want a Kickstarter to make a Kickstarter. Yeah. Holy shit! Let's see some of these other ones. We got Savage Kingdoms, which is Reforged.
Hello there, everybody. This is Mike. With
Hi, Mike.
Savage Kingdom's role-playing game.
What's up, buddy?
Mike Yao. I'm the writer and creator of this game system. That's the logo. That's actually the Savages. This is the original core rulebook right here. As you can see, the big logo there. Core rulebook for game masters and players. That was released in 2014, so 3 years ago.
I can do the maths, Mike.
The last release was this, the Savage East, as you can see right there.
That's cool. Have you guys ever
focused in addition to introducing
Savage Kingdom? So I was thinking Savage Worlds, but it's not, is it?
It's gotten great reviews. The Exploding 20 and the Imploding 20 system. Everything's just a single D20 roll. You don't need other type of dice.
Okay.
Keeps the narrative flowing really well. And so the core rulebook. Not
To
only
get
have
more
the
exciting.
even the $10 level, you get a PDF. So that'll be
No. Okay. Well,
of the core rulebook.
I don't want to listen to Mike for 8 minutes, to be fair, but there you go.
Cover option as well. There's PDF options, PDF Savage Bestiary, ball cap with the Savage Kingdom's logo on it. New T-shirt, different from the, well, it's pretty similar, but it's got there's more colors to it. That's going. What else have we got? So 20-page adventure, customizable NPC. Anyway, you'll see all the cool rewards that you can get. So please try to help us out.
I don't know. What's he got here? He's got $1 straight up, $10 PDF. I think $10 PDF is like really nice for some of these that they're doing. And he's got a goal of 3,500. Hopefully he makes it. He's got 28 days to do it, so if any luck. Lasting 40 days should be a Warhammer 40k game. Is that the rule? If you're going to ask for $40,000, you have to be making it within Warhammer 40,000. Maybe it is. Maybe that's something that they've been missing out on there. I don't know. Got some cool looking ones here. Rumor Dawn of Empire RPG. Seems reasonable. This is what I'm talking about. It's a starting pledge, yeah.
Citizen. My name is Martin Grinning. I'm the designer of Ruma Dawn of Empire.
What's his name?
Citizen. My name is Martin Grinning.
Martin Grinning.
Of
Okay.
Ruma Dawn of Empire. Ruma Dawn of Empire is a tabletop role-playing game set in an alternate Roman Empire
That sounds cool.
where magic and mythology are real.
That's my campaign imperative right there.
The game is powered by the Apocalypse engine,
Cool. Good
originally
system.
designed by D. Vincent Baker and Megway Baker for the Apocalypse World role-playing game. But it's also used to power some other really great games like Dungeon World by Sage Latora and Adam Cobell, and Legacy Life Among the Ruins by James Isles.
Romans, Roomba.
Players in Ruma Dawn of Empire take on the roles of soldiers and support elements for the Ruman legions fighting to bring civilization
There's actually a new edition of Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game coming out, published by Cubicle 7? Is it Cubicle 7?
to the savages.
The third edition was bad.
Playbooks
The second edition was
include
sick.
the Aurorus, a diviner of the future, the Magus, a learned scholar of arcane magic, and the Triarius, a veteran soldier of many campaigns. Each character is also an initiate in the cult of one of the Ruman gods.
Sounds cool.
Their chosen patron may bless the characters should they follow the deity's credo.
Did this guy just like watch Imperial? Oh man.
There are 6 pledge levels. The Auxilia receives no rewards.
Where's
and
that
has my
Bimbola?
deepest gratitude. All backers at Velite or above receive a PDF copy of the game. Backers at the Hastatus level also receive a code to purchase a hardcover copy of the game at printing cost when it is available.
Okay.
Triarius backers will receive a signed copy of the hardcover. U.S. media mail shipping is
I should sue him for copyright. Yeah. I invited the Roman Empire.
included in the Triarius pledge. The 2 premium
lot of text.
levels also receive a signed copy of the rulebook, like the Triarius. Do you want to be immortalized as a Ruman senator or general? Or perhaps a barbaric Kellic warlord? I will
Sure.
work with backers at the Centurion level to create a prominent character in the setting based
cool.
on either you or your wishes. Have a cool idea that would fit well in Ruma? Like a new playbook, cults, or alternate setting?
I'll bring music back
I will
in.
work
He was
with
really
backers
quiet
at the
though.
Architectus level
He came in
to
super
design an
quiet.
aspect of the game and include it in the book. Thank you very much for your help.
Some of these are a bit like they've got like a PowerPoint presentation and they're like clicking it and they're like presenting it to you, isn't it?
In making Ruma Dawn of Empire a reality.
Oh, there we go. Okay. That one's interesting. He's already funded. An Architectus level. Man, Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game, when that new edition comes out, I'll be all over that shit. Dark Heresy has been fun as well. I played a season of that and they've been all good. They get the stretch goals unlocked to Prado, the Prado man. That does it. I did read that as pedo playbook right there. The pedo playbook will be included in both the PDF and print versions of Ruma Dawn of Empire. Okay, new character art will be commissioned. Cool, cool. This guy seems like a nice guy, you know. Yeah, I have to agree, Salami. I'd rather hear the details than a guy talking for 8 minutes about this game. Powered by the Apocalypse. Apocalypse system is great, fun, easy to do. Yeah. Aruma, Dawn of Empire. Okay. Yeah, maybe worth taking a look at one of those, if you're interested in that. I mean, Roman Empire stuff sounds sick. Oh, speaking of maps, Endless RPG, a random dungeon generator for pen and paper. Alright. If you ever wanted to play D&D or Pathfinder alone or with a group of friends without a DM, Endless RPG will be the answer. Interesting. That's an interesting concept. Ever wanted to play D&D alone? Have you ever been so lonely? Looking for $300 to get $180. Artwork doesn't look fantastic, but I'm sure there are more pictures further on. It will be a random dungeon generator on iPhone, iPad, and Android that allows players to input the characters and level range of the party. The generator will use this information to create a random dungeon, so it's donjon. As the players move through the dungeon, encounters will be revealed in plain text descriptions. Sexy. And with a number of monsters and some basic stats. Players will also encounter treasure and traps that explore the level of the dungeon. All of this will be communicated in basic text. Okay, so the Kickstarter projects pay for the graphics used in the app. The graphics will mostly be top-down style. I mean, a broad Warhammer request, I'm probably going to play it myself. Well, fair enough. I mean, it's a bit like the old fighting fantasy turn to this page books, right? And they were fun. But I don't know, if it is all text, then that isn't particularly exciting, is it? It simply provides a random map, populated monsters, traps, and treasure. You would explore the dungeon as if it were a game, but the actual consequences will be up to the players. It will be supporting D&D5E and Pathfinder. How to play solo. Be fair. Be fair. You are playing by yourself, so you must DM the monster encounters. So it's not really a game where you can play it by yourself any more than D&D is a game where you can play it by yourself. Okay, I'm a little bit confused. How to play in a group. Rotate being the DM in combat. This is a great way to play through the dungeon. When it is your turn to be DM, take a back seat and let the other players guide combat while your character does the basics. Let your character shine when others DM. So it's supporting D&D and Pathfinder, but I guess it's asking you to play it in a different way. The best way to get an idea of how the dungeons will end up looking is to play My Endless Adventures party-based roguelike. Okay. Can I click on that? Where does this take me? Endless Adventure now available. This guy's a bit creepy look, isn't it? Huh. Will it be mobile only? It makes a PC version possible, but it'd depend on the interest. Only stretch goals. Yes and no. If I receive more than the gold amount, I will use that to develop features such as more environments and the ability to set parameters such as the type of creature encounter. This could be used by DMs to cross the story. These features may be added regardless of funding, depending on the popularity of the idea. I like this guy. He's like, I don't give a shit. Like, you can give me more money if you want, but I want $300. Okay, that's what I'm asking for. Random dungeon generator is just an alternative playstyle as regular D&D. I mean, it's Donjon, right? But on mobile. Which is, I guess, interesting. Fucking buy Pillars of Eternity, right? Well, pledge 1, thumbs up. Pledge 10, free copy of an iPad, no. Of the iPad iPhone app. While I have not set a specific price for the app, it is likely to just be $1. This should be viewed as a small bonus for backing the project and not a discount. Right, pledge $25 or more. Your name in big lights. Okay, not really. Shame. But the first dozen people will be thanked in the app description posted on nationsoftware.info and their praises sung on the internet. I'd love to put their names in the app descriptions in the mobile store, but I can't guarantee that much at this time. I like this guy. He's pretty honest about like his expectations. He's like, I've done this thing. You might like it. There aren't really any stretch goals. It's like $300 to do it, and I can't really make any promises. So I mean, the idea is fine, right? I mean, like a mobile app could be useful if you're, I don't know, playing alone, or you just get bored, so you want to go in a dungeon or something like that. Yeah. Okay. What about oh shit, the world's dead? He's not asking for a lot. Oh yeah, I can't blame him. I can't blame him. He's just like, fuck him. Oh shit, the world's dead. A tabletop RPG game set in the post-apocalyptic. Why is there never any videos? Wouldn't back it, but like his style. I like this artwork. I genuinely like the artwork. It's a bit like Fallout, but you know. What is oh shit, the world's dead? Well, the short answer is a tabletop RPG game set in the future. You can create your own hero and adventures, or follow our stories. The choice is up to you. Have fun with as many friends you can find and survive the apocalypse. We're hoping to make this an enjoyable and affordable game as to reach as many people as possible. After this Kickstarter, we'll be able to afford the equipment necessary to self-publish a game, and you'll be able to order it at my website or Amazon. What is an tabletop RPG? he did the meme without even meaning to. What is an tabletop RPG? Why fund this project? Because you should, duh. No, really. Not only will you get bragging rights to funding the coolest RPG of the century. This is a high claim right here. But you can get discounted pre-order of the game with a £50 donation. It's interesting, isn't it? That is interesting. Let me do that there. Okay, why is this game any different? We're trying to streamline the process. So it's like, you get it free when you pay $50. We're trying to streamline the process so gameplay is easier than other tabletop RPGs. In doing so, we hope to make it a game that can be ready to play for everyone, for the more casual player or the more extreme. You guys know any extreme players? Don't look at me. You can sit down and play a pre-made campaign and either use pre-made existing characters or create new ones in minutes around. You know, a lot of these descriptions for games are basically describing this should be under what is a tabletop RPG. Risks, we're starting this from the ground up. No printers, no anything. No way to publish, no way to bind the books. Every cent you donate will help our dream to explore a new feature into. A lot of these guys are very honest. They're like, I don't know anything. We've got nothing. We've got a picture of a woman, and we want $3,100, please, and thank you. And they need a little away. They need about $2,500 or so. $1, good kid. Bit creepy, isn't it? $10, great kid. All right. You also get a Rosy Rocket pin. What is a Rosy Rocket pin? Roasty Rocket pin. Okay. Not really. Okay, weird. A lot of conflicting image. Picture of a woman is all you need these days. See updates. Thanks for the support. Okay, any comments? No. Frequently asked questions? None. Wow. Okay. I guess they don't get too many questions about it. I guess basically everything you need to know is within the realms of this here. Okay, character sheet. Okay, let's see. The sheet. Character sheet by Dungeon Dealer. The woman is Rosy Rocket. Oh, I guess maybe so. Maybe she is. Okay. A dice tray and loot holder and dry erase character sheet. Holder all in one for all tabletop RPGs or board card games. Okay. They're looking for $2,500 and they've already smashed through their goal. So this video is most likely fantastic.
Hey, this is Justin Sorois with Severed Books.
Hey, Justin.
This is our new character sheet / dice tray / loot holder.
Hey, good job, Dustin. This looks pretty cool.
Rolling dice on the dice tray right here, and I got my my character sheet and cell phone tucked in right there. And underneath, I have 12 cards that could be any cards or sheets that you want that stay stationary under the plastic, so you're not really fiddling with assets the entire time. You can see from this angle I have a spell sheet underneath my main character sheet.
That's kind of cool, right? That's kind of seems like it could be useful, could be interesting.
3 cards, still rolling dice. What I like about this is that there's a place for just about everything, I think. And you can turn it horizontally too.
I mean, basically what they've invented is a tray. Right? And I guess there's a thing which you hold your character sheet in. I guess it's probably more than that. Is that like, maybe that's textured and helps it hold there? Hey, thanks to I Am Light for following, a gentleman and a scholar. I could make it myself cheaper than what he's asking. That's what I'm thinking. Is it seems to be the sort of thing that might just be a tray.
Ambidextrous. We wanted to make it like a utility. You can use it in probably ways that I'm not even thinking about. It's the tray's made of solid hydrostone, so it's super heavy, and that's sort of the secret to keeping everything kind of locked in. Like the tray is just like extraordinarily heavy. And then we also have a removable.
It's basically a tray and a heavy thing to hold down a piece of paper.
Dry erase layer.
That is interesting. That's kind of cool.
Or you can completely.
Again, though, it is basically a sheet of dry erase.
Remove it if you don't want it. So that has a lot of advantages, obviously. When you're
Seems like it has a stickiness, yeah.
Stats. And then here we have a quick initiative order for GMs. So GMs can also use this.
Okay. That's kind of neat, but would you have to write that yourself? Is it a tray of paper rate? How much are we paying for shipping? I don't know, yeah.
So thanks for checking this out, guys.
Severed books, not severed boo.
Wouldn't be a thing. So, love you all. Thank you. See you soon.
This is the sheet. Heavy, durable stone. Okay. Huh. Let's see. How heavy is it? This tray is heavy. Okay, that's good. And keeps the thick plastic sheet in place. Think of it as a massive paperweight. The tray is made from solid hydrostone. 1 casting, no glue. So I don't know how heavy that is, though, but there you go. How much is some hydrostone, I guess? It's 12 by 15. It locks the content in place. It's got a dry erase layer for right-handed players. It's protection. Always use protection. I mean, I feel like there are probably cheaper solutions out here. Then I guess it's like branded, so that's kind of nice, right? If you wanted. I mean, it looks a bit nicer than what you'd make on your own, I guess. How's it going, Scott? It looks a bit nicer than I'd be able to make, so I guess there's that. But ultimately, it does seem like a piece of paper and a tray. It's plaster cement. Okay. I use plastic page protectors in the binder for mine. It's cheap, yeah. I mean, yeah, I keep my things in the binder as well. You know, it's yeah. It's a Mr. Chief for falling. I mean, I have pieces of terrain lying around, which could probably serve that function. But it's basically a paperweight, right? I mean, stretch goal, everyone gets a free skull dice holder. It's kind of neat. Do you have to paint it? I guess it comes painted. I use a table. That is pretty unique, Louise. I hadn't thought about that. Pretty 3D printed, and he's lying. Let's see this. This is an add-on. Dungeon Dealer deck cards. Or card decks, rather. I feel like he didn't mean to film and upload this. He's just cleaning some stuff. Oh, you're there? Oh, someone's watching? I didn't see you there. Okay. I mean, I don't mind the idea of the initiative tracker. But it's yeah, I don't know. You can add any Dungeon Dealer card deck for any $10 each. You can add up to 4 decks. Maze Deck 1, Maze Deck Junior, Undead Village. I don't really know what the decks are. I'm captivated. Pledge extra $8, no handwritten cards, PCHP. Yeah, I don't know. It's demonstrating how to clean it. As if I didn't know how to clean a dry erase map. But I mean, it seems interesting enough, right? It's not out of this world, but he's already made it. So 3 post-it notes written in Sharpie. But he's already made it, so that's that's half the battle, right? He's already made his stretch goal, so more power to him for a success with that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would pledge to back that. How much do you have to pay for it? $10 you get. Oh, you don't even get it. $30 you get a character sheet unpainted. Okay, so this is where the costs come in. And then $39 you get a painted character sheet. So you get the white one if it's unpainted for $29, and then $39 it gets painted for you. Okay. That's international. And then 2 character sheets for $79. 4 character sheets for $114. I mean, it could be a nice like Christmas present for your group, or something like that. Would you pay $29 for an unpainted one of those, or would you pay $30 for one of those? I don't know how many people would do that. I mean, currently 60 people have done it. So actually, I do know, but yeah. Thank you for following. Who we got there? Cameron Flynn. How's it going, my man? Okay, we'll look at one last one before we head into our next show here. Big Bad Overlord. I'd luckily look at something from One More Game over this trait. I think I'm with you there as well. One More Game are pretty fantastic. Yeah, cool button novelty. Something you might buy for a Dungeon Master for Christmas or something like that.
Alright. Action!
The Overlord has fallen.
Holy mackerel.
His lieutenants have stepped forth, each vying for his dark throne.
You should charge $30 for him. Redundant. You should find a way to charge $30 for him. Okay.
Who will become the new Overlord?
Overlord.
Will it be you?
Probably not. This is cool.
Pit your armies against your enemies in this tabletop card and dice game of domination and destruction.
Ooh, you lost the
Oh yes, this artwork though.
A game 30 years in the making.
I have not been working on this for 30 years. Look, it's been sitting in a box for 25 years while I moved around from state to state. But then I found it again and I realized this is a great game, and with crowdfunding and Photoshop...
30 years.
Okay.
Big Bad Overlord is a card and dice game for...
It's so corny, but I love these cheesy ones.
4 to 6 players. Back us at the $30 level for a complete copy of the game. Back us at a higher level for bonus cards and more. Let your inner villain out.
Big Bad Overlord is a great game. It's a lot of fun, and it's ready for market. I just need your help to get it into production, so consider backing us today.
Seems like a nice guy. Oh my god.
Click on the green button and back us today.
It does remind me of Munchkin too, yeah. That reminds me of Munchkin as well. Man. Well, I would actually back this. There you go. There you go. This is Big Bad Overlord. 10 out of 10 trailer. Would watch again. $30 you get the game. I mean, it sounds like it would be fun. Sounds like it would be fun. And, horrible monster. Okay, sure. Seems like it would... So you roll dice and play cards with this game, apparently. So that's kind of interesting. How big's the goal? That's a good question. They are looking... Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. Well, they're looking for $16,500. and they've got 24 days to go, and they've currently raised 1,251. So if you like the project and think that you'd want to back it, then I suggest doing so swiftly, because the first few days of a Kickstarter are the most important ones. So they might not make it at their current rate. I think where a lot of these games go wrong, because it must be fucking expensive to make these things. It must cost so much to print all of these things here, right? So I imagine the costs are probably costed right. But then I wonder if they would do better to go for a lower goal and then stretch goal the rest of the stuff, maybe? Maybe that's where they've misstepped there. Hiring a bunch of 5-year-olds to draw cards is expensive. It's true. It's true, trust me. I've paid the price on that one many a time. Or at least sweets for the kids. I don't know. It's not the worst game I've ever come across, but yeah, probably the best trailer we watched today, but also probably a bit out of the reach of 16k. Yeah, not 40k. It's true. It's not 40k. All right, it is time, my friends, for us to go to our next show.